everybody, and welcome to the K-West pregame show. We're here live at the Alamo Dome for the regional semifinal. The Weslaco Panthers taking on Lake Travis in the third round of the playoffs. And what a game that we had right before this one, because it was Hanna taking on San Antonio Brandeis, and the Hanna Eagles were actually leading that game at the half. I know they talk a lot about how teams do not get past the third round of the playoffs, but Hanna had San Antonio Brandeis. They ended up losing. The final score in that one was 33-32, but Hanna, what a game that they had as they were leading that game at the half. It was 26-7, Hanna with the lead. And they also had a lead in the fourth quarter, 32-20, but Brandeis was able to come back and win that contest. It was an exciting game. It was electric. It was loud in here. Mike Rosales here, Carlos Rolando for the K-West pregame show. We've been watching football all day, Mike.
Yes.
And what do you think the Panthers? They watched a little bit of that game. Can the Weslaco Panthers get something from that contest?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know the team got here, I would say maybe the second quarter or so. I noticed the drill team was here, the coaches were here watching, the players I'm sure had an opportunity to watch, and this is momentum for the Weslaco Panthers that, hey, we do belong in this stage. It's the Alamo Dome, so what? It's treated like another game. That's what Brownsville Hanna did, and just a terrific job by the Golden Eagles too. They were so close, and my heart goes out to that team because they gave it everything they have, and we hope that the Panthers will do the same.
Yeah, they had an opportunity late in the game, or late in the drive, about under a minute to go. They had the ball deep into Brandeis territory. It looked like all they needed was a field goal to win the game, but a sack in that drive knocked them out of field goal range, and they ended up losing that contest. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the Weslaco Panthers taking on Lake Travis, a team that has won not one, not two, but 6 state championships. They're 11-1 on the season, and so are the Weslaco Panthers, 11-1.
Yeah, Weslaco Panthers, a terrific season. They got here playing great football here. Now they're going up against the best team, one of the best in the state coming into the season. There was talk about possible national championship, and that's a team that's been around for a very long time. As you mentioned, 6 championships, state championships in the last decade. They were in the state championship game last year and lost, so they came back with a hunger, motivated, and feel like they belong here too.
Yeah, they lost last year in that game 35-38 or 35-33 against Allen, a team out of the Dallas area. So this is a team they're used to playing, Thanksgiving. They're used to playing in December.
They are, Carlos, and I mean, they, as mentioned, preseason game, after coming off a state championship loss, that was probably the first loss that they've had, and then winning 6 state championships. I mean, they've been there, they've done that, they have the experience, and they have the players, and, this is nothing new to them, so let's see how the Weslaco Panthers respond to that.
Yeah, the Panther fans are arriving here on the Alamo. They're going to be the visitors here tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, a 4 o'clock kickoff, and we'll be live. We're live right now on YouTube. We'll continue to be live on the WISD YouTube channel. Now, when you talk a lot about the third round of the playoffs, the history is not with Valley teams. San Antonio teams call this Valley Week, the third round of the playoffs, and sometimes they spell week W-E-A-K. But Mike, talk to me a little bit about the history, because the history is not on the side of the teams from the Valley when it comes to the third round.
Yes, when you talk about modern history, especially once 5A and 6 play began, the Valley teams haven't had a whole lot of success. And when I did a little bit of research, Carlos, and the last team to advance past the third round was the 2012 Port Isabel Tarpons. Beat Beeville, lost to Beeville in the state quarterfinals. 2011, one of the better teams the Rio Grande Valley has ever had. The Harlingen Cardinals defeated San Antonio Ware in Buck Stadium. 2003, Port Isabel went all the way to the state final. I'm sorry, to the state semifinal that year. They actually played here in the state semifinal against Marlin. And 1999, the Edinburgh Bobcats, with that magical ride they had with Coach Vela playing Division I, went all the way to the state semifinals there, defeated San Antonio Taft in a terrific football game there. And it's interesting to know, Carlos, that once 5A competition began, there's only been 3 teams that were 5A or above that have advanced past that won 3 playoff games. That would be the 1989 Harlingen Cardinals, the 1990 Mission Eagles with Coy Demmer, the 1999 Edinburgh Bobcats, and the 2011 Harlingen Cardinals. So the Panthers have an opportunity to be a part of history.
Yeah, I think that's what people remember, that 2011 team, the Cardinals, when they went on and they played against San Antonio Warren. It was a game that took place at Buck Stadium. They came out on fire, just like Hanna was earlier today, and they were able to sustain that win, and they won that game. And I think the quarterback was even a Division I player. We'll see some Division I players on the other side here tonight. and I think the quarterback went on to play at Texas Tech for San Antonio Warren.
Yeah, I mean, San Antonio Warren had a great football team, but it was a great year for the Harlingen Cardinals, very much like the Weslaco Panthers. Had a great defense, special teams, and a great offense that racked up a lot of points, and they were able to play with Warren early on, and that's what Brownsville-Hanna did this afternoon. They were able to get by that first quarter, and I think they gained confidence as the game went on. I think that's going to be key for the Weslaco Panthers.
And the Panthers know what they're up against, or they know there's a 6-time state champion on the other side of the field, a team that went all the way to the state finals last year. They've been following all along. But if you were at their practice this week, which Mike Gonzalez was, and we had a chance to go out there as well, yes. The attitude was all businesslike. They're not intimidated. They're not wide-eyed or anything like that. They're ready to play some football.
They are, Carlos. I mean, they've treated every week their goal is to go 1-0, and that's the same thing for this week. Lake Travis, so what? Our goal is to go 1-0, and it was business as usual at practice. The team looked focused. It was intense. It was great weather out there to be out there practice Monday and Tuesday, and I mean the team looked very focused and confident. I think they feel like they belong here, that they can compete with the Cavaliers.
They talked about playing on Thanksgiving week. They talked about playing also in December, and here we are. It's December 1st, and the Weslaco Panthers are in the third round of the playoffs. Also, the atmosphere in the city of Weslaco has been tremendous. They had a pep rally on Thursday night for the Panthers. The whole community came out. It was a packed gymnasium, and we had also elementary schools and middle schools that were also there paying tribute to the Weslaco Panthers. And so Panther fever has caught on in the city of Weslaco.
Once you get into the third round, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, that's where your season becomes special. It's no longer just the Weslaco Panthers. Now you have the communities back, and you have other towns asking about you. Yeah. You have the businesses, like how are the Panthers or where are they going to play, and they want some little details. They're more interested in knowing where you are, and with this pepper rally, and the Panther players see the kind of support they're getting, and it should uplift them a little bit, as they travel here with the send-off. And I mean, it's great to see that, Carlos.
It's great to see that a lot more people are interested, not just your everyday Panther fans that are there year in and year out, but the Panthers who've been watching Weslaco since the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. They're real excited about what's going on with the Weslaco Panthers. All right, so yesterday there was a send-off for the Panthers, and you talk about community support. Let's take a look at this video, and you'll see how the Panthers were sent off over here to San Antonio.
Grab a lunch. Defense is over there. Defense is over there. Offense right here. Offense right here, guys. Offense right here. Offense right here. Good job. We're very appreciative to play in a place, and I think our kids go to school in a place where athletics is supported like it is, and we just want to go out and make sure that we give our best effort to make our community proud.
We got an awesome bus, and we are having an awesome send-off. This is on both sides. Look at that. Both sides, and they're fired up. So, hey, we have a lot to play for.
All right, so a tremendous send-off for the Panthers. They arrived at the San Antonio area last night, spent the night. They came to the Alamodome and had an opportunity to have a walkthrough right here in the Alamodome, Mike.
Yeah, that's great to see, Carlos, that they were able to get the send-off that they did. A lot of support from the student body. They let them outside just to see the buses go by. And yes, they came straight over here to the Alamodome, had a walkthrough, and I think that's great to have that opportunity to do that, so that way the players can get used to the elements here to see what it is. It's different coming as a fan versus a player, and I think everything went fine. We're able to go home, get a good night's sleep, and then come in for the pregame meal and come in here and prepare for the game.
Yeah, pregame meal, went to Golden Corral, then they got together in the meeting rooms and they went over some offense and some defense. So traveling squad for the Panthers, or the traveling team, and then breaking down some film late in the evening before they went to sleep. All right, so the Panthers haven't really seen this type of excitement since, well, 2007, when we had the, what was it, San Antonio Madison and Weslaco, when they played at Bobby Lackey Stadium. It was a smaller stadium back then. It could only fit about 10,000 people, and Weslaco lost that game 59-42, but they led in the third quarter, and it was tied going into the fourth quarter, Mike. It was 35-35, that's right. It was a high-scoring affair, but the Panthers ended up losing that game, but they played such an exciting football contest there at Bobby Lackey Stadium.
It was one of the better games that took place at Bobby Lackey Stadium, and just the way the team came out. We had Mishak Rivas on the team, and I mean, it was great to see the community and the support they had for that game. And because of that game, Carlos, is the reason why they did the renovations to the stadium and what we see today. And the Panthers were that close, probably one of the bigger games that they've had in like 40-some years since Bobby Lackey was quarterback for the Panthers in 1955. And so they were so close, and then they gave it all their heart against a San Antonio Madison team that was heavily favored and had the lead in the third quarter. And that's the kind of performance I hope to see from this Weslaco Panthers squad here in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, and it was a game that it was windy at Bobby Lackey Stadium. It was packed. It was a packed crowd. There were even people that were outside the stadium looking over the fence to watch this game. The Jumbotron was fairly new at the time, 11 years ago, and people were watching it off the big screen. A great atmosphere, and I think we're going to have a great atmosphere here tonight as well.
Well, yeah, we all know that the Weslaco Panthers, they travel very, very well, and especially when they get deep into the playoffs and I see the fans come in. Another thing I like to say, Carlos, is it's great to see the Brownsville Hanna fans. Some of them have stuck around here to see the Weslaco Panthers play, because now when you get into the third round, that's what it's about. It's no longer Weslaco High. It is a Valley thing now. And what we want to see is just a great game, and we hope that one of our teams can advance, and now the Panthers with that chance right in front of them in a few minutes.
We ran some highlights earlier this week on K-West of that game, and can you think the 2018 Panthers can learn something from the 2017?
Sure. I mean, absolutely. They can learn a lot, because, I mean, there's a lot to take from the past experiences, the positive and the negatives. And, last year was a tough year. We were able to rebuild and then come back with a strong season. Almost won a district championship. Won a by-district championship in that area. Just momentum and confidence. They look so much more confident, and that's great to see. It's carried, with the changes they've made in the offseason.
Yeah, it's going to be this game's going to be different from the 2007 game. Of course, we're playing here in the Alamo Dome, but the Panthers have a secret weapon, and his name is Coach Michael Salinas. He is a coach who has been in this situation before in his previous coaching duties. He's been to the third round.
He's been third round, I believe, twice, Carlos, and actually played a very good game against a squad from around this area, and I'm sure he's using that as the preparation-wise, at least, and he and the coaching staff letting the players know, like, look, if you just listen to me and do what I say, we will put on a good show, and we can play with these guys. And it's great to have a coach like that with that kind of experience, that kind of resume, and knows what to expect against that level of competition.
We also had an opportunity to size up Lake Travis a little bit. They were on the other side warming up. They had this huge sophomore quarterback who was got to be 6'5", maybe 6'6". I don't think it's not Hudson Card. Let's take a look at the top players for Lake Travis. At least these are the guys to look out for this afternoon when you're watching this game. Hudson Card is their quarterback. He is a junior. 38 touchdowns for that young man, and he's thrown for over 2,700 yards in the season, and he also rushed for 550 yards. We also have Wetson Stevens, who's rushed for 570 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then Garrett Wilson. He's a young man that people have talked about because he has signed to, or at least he has committed, maybe he's going to sign later on this year, to Ohio State University. Almost 1,000 yards for him, 871 yards and 12 touchdowns.
The impressive thing, Carlos, is that Garrett Wilson has only done this in 8 games, so that's about 100 yards per game. He has already committed to Ohio State there, where he's originally from, actually, before he moved down here to Texas, and just has a total package. 6 foot, 175, runs a 4.5 speed. Great hands, great route runner, and just is a flat-out playmaker. And then Hudson Card, already committed to University of Texas, and has a strong arm, very good size, very mobile, can run with the football. Football smart, excellent at running the offense there, and lines up in the backfield with either no backs or just one back there. So that shows me that he knows how to run an offense.
Yeah, he's rushed for over 500 yards, has thrown for 2,700. He's a dual threat quarterback for sure, going, or at least he's committed so far to the University of Texas. We'll see what happens with his career. And the Weslaco Panthers are following, they know who these players are. They, on social media, will follow these individuals, so they know what they're up against here tonight.
They are. I mean, it's a Lake Travis team. I mean, they have the recipe and the resume. They've been here for a long, long time. And as mentioned, it's been over a decade here. And, you know, they've won 6 state championships, have been to state finals. And so, I mean, this is something going to be new for the Weslaco Panthers. And so they're going to have to embrace the opportunity. The opportunity is here. And just don't let the elements get to you.
All right, so the fans are still filing in here at the Alamo Dome. Got about 15 minutes till kickoff. We're going to go ahead and keep it here for a little bit longer. And we're talking a little bit about last week's game because that game against Laredo United, once again, the Weslaco Panthers stepped it up. Special teams and defense, outstanding. They were able to score on special teams. They blocked a field goal. And then, of course, there was that fake punt. And then a couple of interceptions for the defense and a strip fumble taken back for a touchdown. Just outstanding football being played not only in this game, but against Harlingen as well. Special teams and defense has been critical for the Weslaco Panthers.
I actually think, Carlos, that's been the key to their 2 playoff wins so far. I mean, last week against Laredo United, they had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions. They scored 14 points off of those turnovers and had 4 sacks. And the special teams were able to get 6 points off of that fake punt, as we mentioned. And then we got to mention, too, Roy Trevino with a crucial block right before the first half to keep the score 7-6. And I think that momentum carried into the second half. And then against Harlingen, they got 3 turnovers. And then on special teams, they were able to get 1 turnover. Jaden Cavazos inside the 5 to set up a touchdown. And they're going to need that kind of play. The defense had 3 sacks that night, too. So just the elevation of the defense, who've been solid all year long, and then on special teams continue it. Well, the offense has been the offense. We know that. But just the key has been defense and special teams. That has to continue tonight.
Yeah, Seth Sanchez was spectacular with those sacks in the coming in the fourth quarter when Laredo was trying to mount a comeback. Jason Bailly also with an interception the game, scored that touchdown. And, Mike, they were just on fire, but also that offense.
Yes.
When they were given that opportunity to get the ball in that fourth quarter in the second half, you talked about a championship drive that they had.
Yes. If you recall, Laredo United had scored a touchdown to cut the margin to 16-14. So the pressure was on the Panthers, and guess what? The Panthers come out there with their squad. Jacob Cavazos leading the offense, put together a 13-play, 67-yard and converted 3 separate third downs to keep the drive alive. And that was just key to the game to make it a 2-possession game again.
All right, so we're here at the Alamo Dome, and the school songs are already taking place. So football game is about to get started. All right, so there was also some games that took place already last night. And, of course, today we talked a little bit about the Hanna game and Hanna losing to San Antonio Brandeis, but also a third-round game. Converse Judson, we know about those big boys, the Rockets. They went to Bobby Burrows Stadium.
Yes.
They played there last night. They won that score 69-18. The Rockets will play the winner of this game right here between Weslaco and Lake Travis. Converse Judson.
Converse Judson has always been a pretty tough foe for Valley teams in the 3rd and 4th round. I remember in 1989 when Harlingen Cardinals played Converse Judson, and it just seems like regardless of what Valley team draws them, it's been tough for them. But it was still a great event for San Benito to host, great for the community, and great to see Valley support there. A great year for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, it was an awesome game to have those players. There were a lot of people from the Valley that were watching that game, so to be able to watch Converse Judson against San Benito. San Benito's season is now over. As far as the other game, Austin Westlake, they played against Vela, the district champion from 31-6A, and Austin Westlake, the Chaparrals, I guess their football team is back.
Yes.
As they won. In the past couple of years, they've been here in the 3rd round of the playoffs. They win that game 28-0.
Yes, Edinburgh Vela did put up a pretty good fight. They were only down 14-0 at halftime, so they were in position to play well against this team and were in position to put up a fight. Fortunately, the offense just couldn't put up some points, and we're shut out. And in the end, it was just too much Austin Westlake.
Yeah, but they were able to hold them to 28 points, so that's something that you can hang your hat on.
Yeah, absolutely. When you get to the 3rd round and then you play a San Antonio Austin Westlake team, holding them to 27, 28 points, you can live with that. But you just need to, the offense needs to convert some third downs and score some points to have a chance, just like Brownsville Hanna did earlier today.
Hanna, they played against San Antonio Brandeis. That was the game right before this one. They lost 33-32, an outstanding game. So now it'll be Westlake taking on San Antonio Brandeis in the 4th round of the playoffs. We also have La Feria taking on Lavernia, and Mission Vets will be taking on Corpus Christi Vets. That game is going to take place right here at the Alamo Dome right after this contest, which is just about to begin. All right, let's talk a little bit about the weather, because outside it's in the 70s here. Of course, we're in the dome, but it's going to be a nice afternoon here in San Antonio. When you're driving home, it, of course, will drop temperatures a little bit. But playing in the dome, Mike.
Right.
What do you think the Panthers are I think they're excited about it? Do you think they're intimidated at all? What do you think?
Well, as a Valley fan, I'm not a fan of coming here to the Alamo Dome and play these games because I feel like it's been a factor in previous years. You know, when you see this big place right here, this big facility, they're not used to it, but it is what it is. And the Panthers, I have been in this position as far as, if you remember the Little League Baseball team when they were younger, they're used to being on the big stage, and they have embraced it really all year long, and it hasn't gotten to them. I hope it doesn't get to them tonight.
Yeah, a lot of the players that were on that team that went to the Junior League World Series are playing for the Westco Panthers. So you talk about being on the big stage, they've been there before, and it might be a little bit of an advantage for them here in this game.
I think so, Carlos, because if you really think about it, going to Michigan for that baseball competition, they had to stay in hotels, they had to go through a routine, and they played against elite competition. So I mean, they're used to being in this position as far as playing in sports. So I think they'll embrace the opportunity here. I really do.
All right, so the Westco Panthers are now out onto the field. You can see them coming out. It looks like they're about to line up for the national anthem and waiting for Lake Travis to come out. So third round of the playoffs, whatever happens in this particular game, Mike, the Westco Panthers look like they're back as one of the elite teams in the Rio Grande Valley. Top 3, top 5 teams. You got to, no matter what happens here.
No matter what, Carlos, because last year had a tough 3-6 season. They were rebuilding. So this year they come in with momentum, with an attitude like, hey, we can maybe make a playoff run if we get some breaks, if we play well, which they did, and they actually elevated their game to, a couple of levels during the season. Then they were able to clinch a playoff spot, get big-time wins over Weslaco East, and gave Edinburgh Vela a great game during the season. And then they played Harlingen in by-district, took care of business there, and then they played Laredo United in the area round and came up with a huge win there in San Antonio. So I think they've come a long way, Carlos, if you really think about it, compared to last year.
They're 11-1 on the season. You think if they play that game against Robert Villa right now, this part of the season, you think they win that contest?
I think they would have a great shot to win that contest. And I mean, Edinburgh Villa, with their experience, have been at the stage, since Coach Salinas was there. But just to see the Panthers grow so fast, and they're, relatively speaking, they are still pretty young. And so it's just great to see. And I think, Weslaco Panther football is back where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think also you talk about the Panthers from the 2018 era, the 2017, 2018, the Michael Salinas era. This is an attack style of football. You got a quarterback out there who is a dual threat quarterback, and Jacob Cavazos likes to run with the football, probably the leading rusher on the team, also fires the ball down the field. So it's an exciting brand of football. Not only are they winning, but they're winning it in, very exciting form.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that kind of offense, a spread offense, no huddle, is what these kids like. And then you have a quarterback like Jacob, who not only is gifted and talented, but is smart. I mean, he's such a smart quarterback, the way he runs that offense, runs with it with a lot of confidence. And then you have the playmakers of like Jaden Cavazos, Devin Dena, that goes down the line to Payne Kanab, Jeremy Coronado coming back from an injury, and then an offensive line that are physical and like to punish you. It all comes together, and it came together this year for the Westco Panthers.
All right, so the Westco Panthers are about to come out here for the opening. Lake Travis is now coming out onto the field, out of the locker room and into the Alamo Dome. So it will be an exciting game here. National Anthem is coming up next. Then we'll have the kickoff, which is right about 7 minutes away. It'll be Scott Harrison will be having, he will have the play-by-play, and Mike Gonzalez will have the color commentary, and then we'll take it from there. It'll be the Westco Panthers 11-1 taking on Lake Travis coming up right now.
afternoon and welcome. We are here in San Antonio at the Alamodome. I'm Scott Harrison. I'll be doing your play-by-play today. Mike Gonzalez, he'll be joining me in just a couple minutes. He'll be my color analyst. And we are looking forward to a big matchup. We've got Lake Travis, the Cavaliers out of Austin. They are in District 25-6A. They're 11-1 and 7-1 in district, and they'll be taking on the Weslaco Panthers. They are 11-1, 5-1 in district. You may remember the Panthers last year. They were 3-6, so they have not only won a lot more than 3 games, they are already in the 3rd round of the playoffs. This is the regional semifinal, and of course, a lot of this credit for the big turnaround of the Panthers goes to their coach. He has done such a fine job, Michael Salinas. This is his 2nd season. We mentioned they went 3-6 last year, and they are 14-7 this year. And of course, Hank Carter, he is the coach for the Cavaliers. And I'll tell you what, Mike, I know this is going to be an exciting afternoon. I was here last year when Weslaco East came and played Cibolo Steel. And I'll tell you what, if Weslaco East, well, we'll take a break and have the national anthem and be back with more. Rendition. And Mike, I got to tell you something. We were saying this before the national anthem came on. The fact that last year Weslaco East came and played here, and some turnovers and other things put them behind in the first half, but they never gave up. And in the second half, they actually outscored Cibolo Steel. And so just because you've got these big name teams here doesn't mean that teams from the Valley are necessarily intimidated. We heard you talking about it in the pregame show. I know Lake Travis has won 6 state championships, but Weslaco, whether it be East or the Weslaco Panthers, they're always ready to go for these big games.
And that's what it's all about, Scott. This is an opportunity here for these players, these coaches, to be a part of history. As we mentioned in the pregame, there have only been 3 teams from the Valley that have won 3 playoff games. When you think about the 5A level, the 6A level, that's now the 6A level. And they just, what they got to do, Scott, is they got to embrace the opportunity. Just kind of tell themselves, yes, we do belong here. We do want to be here. And we feel like we can play with anybody. And if they can hang around in the first quarter, take it into the second quarter and be where they want to be, then I think they'll be okay. But what a lot of times happens, Scott, especially early on, is that mentally you get a little beat down a little bit where you fall behind. If you give up a big play here and you just kind of get down a little bit, and you don't want that to happen. You just stay focused, stay with the game plan, and just let everything else take care of itself, just like it has throughout the season.
Alamodome, lots of big events have taken place here. Actually, I was here for the Final Four that Villanova won this past spring. After Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans and Louisiana, Mississippi, well, the Saints played about 3 or 4 home games here back in 2005. I think they also played one in New York. Moved one of their home games over to Giants Stadium and then played a few in Baton Rouge. So this place has had some big events. They have a bowl game every year, but I know you talked about in the pregame show there was a walkthrough yesterday, and you want to get the young men comfortable maybe this is not the usual place they play.
Sure.
But by this point in the season, you got to mature enough to be able to handle this kind of pressure.
No, exactly. If you're a sophomore, you're no longer a sophomore. You're a junior. If you're a junior, you're no longer a junior. You're a senior, and you're a senior. Well, heck, you just embrace this opportunity. You feel like you belong here. This is what you play for. This is why you grew up and you were in that little league, and so forth. And as you mentioned, we've had Final Fours here. We've had we've had the Saints here play. We've had a number of big events.
Right.
UTSA Roadrunners play here, college football. So, I mean, this venue has hosted a lot of big events. And so they just got to tell themselves, like, it's great to be here in this venue and play this game and just treat it like any other game.
You know, Lake Travis has quite a tradition with quarterbacks. We've heard schools be the cradle of coaches. This could be called the cradle of quarterbacks. For example, Matthew Baldwin, who was here last year, now is at Ohio State. Chuck Brewer, he's at Baylor. He's expected to contribute next year, Charlie Brewer. And we also see there was a guy, what's his name? Played here, won a state championship in 2011. Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and, you know, that guy passed for over 6,000 yards when he played here. And it's funny because from here I go to Houston tomorrow, and I get to see him play for the Cleveland Browns when he goes against the Houston Texans. So, again, big tradition with quarterbacks. And you talked about Hudson Card. He's going to go to Texas. So just another line of signal callers that really know what they're doing. And I talked to some people that know a lot about Garrett Wilson. Some people talking about he's been the best player, at least offensively, they've ever seen.
Wow.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, just an awesome. I had a chance to watch video of him throughout the week, and I was just very impressed. Runs a 4.5 speed. Axel Camarena will probably be the guy to cover him throughout the game. He runs about 4.6 more or less. I mean, so that's going to be an interesting matchup right there to keep an eye on.
And I don't know the exact number, but I believe Axel has about 5 or 6 interceptions this year, too. All right, the kickoff is going to go to Lake Travis, and they don't get much at all. Wow, stopped at about the maybe 13, 14-yard line. So deep in their own territory, we'll see the Cavaliers 1st and 10. You see George Martinez, little squib kick, and it rolls, and it's going to be picked up, and not much going on. That is the guy we were talking about here in the pregame, Garrett Wilson, and that guy did not get much yardage.
And what I liked about that, Scott, is that it was an open field tackle, and that's very, very important. They got to make sure that when there's a guy in front of you, wrap him around. They got to make sure they tackle him.
All right, it is 1st and 10. Ball at about the 15-yard line. Hudson Card at quarterback. And he is going to fake the handoff, play action pass. Now he's going to carry it, and he is going to go for a 1st down. Gets about 11-yard line, or gets about 11 yards on the carry, and knocked out near the Weslaco bench on the far side of the field. We know, of course, that he can run. I believe he's rushed for over 500 yards this season.
Yeah, we see him there with the carry again. Looks like they went for a sneak there on a 2nd and short, so he got 9 carries,
right,
9 yards of
so
first
they
play.
officially gave him 9 on that first run, and then gets the 1st down. Looked like he got 11, but they marked it about a yard or 2 shorter than we saw from up here, but nevertheless gets the 1st down on the next play. So he's already got about 12 yards rushing, and this time it is going to be a running back with the ball, and he is going to go to about the 45-yard line, and that was a very nice run on that play by Will Stevens, Weston Stevens. And Stevens has done his share of running this year. They've got a lot of depth at running back, and we saw it on that play. He, this year, has had 12 carries for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah, only a sophomore.
Yeah, but look at the size of that kid. Good size there. Ran hard there.
No huddle offense. Here is Card once again, and he is going to fall forward, and he is going to get not much, and there's a fumble on the play, and it's recovered by Weslaco. Big play for the Panthers.
Jesse Ramos was the first guy back there. As we see the replay here, you see Jesse Ramos come there, almost had him there, and you see Card running for his life there. And then let's see who made. Looks like number 48 there, or number 79. It was a team effort, really, but number 25 there with the recovery. Panthers with the first break of the game.
So Jake Espinoza comes up with it, and now the Panthers have the ball. They're in the territory of Lake Travis, the Cavs, at the 45-yard line, and it's going to be Peyton Knab, and he is going to get only about a yard or 2, as Jacob Cavazos hands off the ball. Of course, Jacob this year has passed for over 1,000 yards, rushed for over 1,000 yards, and he has over 20 touchdowns, both passing and rushing the ball.
Yeah, Peyton Knob, they're getting those tough yards last week against Laredo United. They're going to need for him to, we got a false start here, I think, against the Panthers. But yes, we're going to need Peyton Knob to have that kind of contribution, just like last week there. That's a great start.
So 2nd down and 9 prior to the penalty. And false starts have been a problem this year for the Panthers. So I think one of the negatives of the team, it would be false starts. I do remember early in the year, one game, it was double digits in false starts.
Yes, and you can't have that as you go deep into the playoffs. You got to be as fundamentally sound as possible there. It's a discipline thing, the offensive line. It's very loud in here, Scott, playing in the dome. So I know that has something to do with it, but the offensive line are going to have to maintain their focus.
2nd down and 14. Ball at the 49-yard line. This time another handoff. Only a couple yards on that play. It was a quarterback keeper for Jacob Cavazos.
He had a hole there briefly there on that left side. A great job there by number 20 there, fighting off his block and making the stop. About a 2-yard gain.
Cavazos last week had a nice game, both passing and rushing the ball. We'll see if he can do that again this week. Go ahead.
Cavazos got off to a slow start last week running the football, but then got going in the second half. Let's see if Jacob could get going a little bit earlier.
All right, this time he's running for his life, tries to get the ball off, and really basically threw it away. Peyton Knob was over there. Even if he would have caught it, it would probably have been just about no gain.
It looked like number 33 there came on the pressure there. That'd be Caleb Winson. The senior defensive tackle is what they have listed. And Jacob Cavazos had to get rid of that ball and did the smart thing and just threw it away where it can't be intercepted. And so it's 4th down now. Last week we saw the Panthers do a fake punt here. I don't know if they'll do that this early, but we'll see.
Right, Raul Camarena hauled it in, right, for a long touchdown reception of 62 yards. But this time it is going to be Cavazos punting the ball, and it's going to be fumbled around, finally downed at about the 7-yard line. So tough time trying to pick up the ball for Lake Travis.
It's a terrific job by the coverage team there, number 14. That'd be KJ Jones there on the with the tackle there. But the Panthers are doing their job on special teams here. Let's see if the defense can come back. Got a turnover. Let's see if they can do something here.
All right, so it's going to be 1st and 10, ball on the 8-yard line. And it's going to be a running play, but there is going to be a flag. Ball goes to about the 12-yard line. And carried on that play by Weston Stevens.
It looks like they're going to call offsides against Weslaco as we wait for the official call.
Yep, offsides against Weslaco. Cavaliers, by the way, have 4 backs that have rushed for over 200 yards this season, and 3 are sophomores, and that includes Will Stevens, or Weston Stevens, I should say, who has 570 yards, Marcelo Elenas, 408, and Wesley Irvin, 249. Senior Sean Brown-Nixon has 244.
For as much ink as Gary Wilson is getting as a receiver, they have a balanced attack in the backfield. And that does that include Card, who also has no? So that's a great attack there.
These are just the running backs. 1st down and 5. Card will throw the ball. Got a receiver open at the 40, and he is going to go to about the 43-yard line. So a big pickup on that play of about 34 yards.
Very, very impressive throw there by Card there to Kylie Arias, only a junior there, with a big gain, 1st and 10 from the 43.
All right. Once again, going to pass the ball, but hit from behind. Is that a loose ball? No.
They're calling it incomplete.
Incomplete. For a moment, it looked like it might have been a fumble. And I'll tell you what, it would have been recovered by Weslaco. Had it been a fumble, Benito Juarez would have got it.
Tell you what, that defensive line and linebackers are coming out aggressive and are not intimidated by that big and strong Lake Travis offensive line.
Ball at the 43. Lake Travis has it. This time it's going to be a rushing play over right tackle, and it's going to be a 1st down and more. Stevens has it, and he is going to get down to near the 25-yard line. So on that play, picks up close to 28 yards on the rush.
And if it wasn't for him running into his teammate, he might have had a chance to score there. You see Gary Wilson in his way, and it just wants him to block there, but got a big-time gain there.
Again, a passing play, and it's going to go to Garrett near the goal line, incomplete. And as you mentioned earlier, Axel Camarena, he was back on defense. Guy that has the most interceptions this year for the Panthers.
A terrific year by the secondary, have come through with a bunch of turnovers. Secondary doing an outstanding job there, led by Axel Camarena.
Ball on the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. 3 wideouts on the left side. Little screen pass to Stevens, and Stevens will only gain a couple yards, and he is knocked out of bounds. This time the play is going to be made by Seth Sanchez. I didn't broadcast the game last week, but I got to see the second half in person. I remember Sanchez late in the 4th quarter got back-to-back sacks.
He's been doing that all year long. A terrific season by the senior there. Made a big open field tackle there.
2-yard gain on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 8. Ball on the 23-yard line of Weslaco. And this time, pass is complete to Garrett, and Garrett is going to get the first down. Oh, but he fumbles it. Ball is loose. Garrett does get it. And is he going to lose the first down? He had the first down, had to go back to get the fumble, and he's tackled back around the, 16-yard line, but they're going to say, I guess, with forward progress, it is going to be a first down.
Roy Trevino there stripped the ball, and luckily for Lake Travis, took a bounce there, and Gary Wilson was able to get it right back, and Roy Trevino completing that tackle there, so almost another big play by the defense.
Wilson, 871 yards and receptions this season. This time, quarterback keeper by Card. Card, by the way, has rushed 80 times for 550 yards. He has 9 touchdowns. Last week, he had 6 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Couple yards on that play, 2nd down 8. Ball is going to be on the 13-yard line of Weslaco. Clock moving, under 7 minutes remaining here in the 1st quarter in the Alamo Dome. No score between Weslaco and Lake Travis. They're out of Austin. 3 wideouts on the right side, and it is going to be a pass, looking in the end zone, and it's no good. It is broken up that time. Nice job, and the intended receiver on that play was Lake McGree, and you can see who broke it up over there. That was Jake Espinoza.
Great job by Jake Espinoza. And it was just man-to-man there, mano-a-mano, as the Lake Travis had trip splits to the near side there, so they tried to sneak the tight end down to the end zone, and a great job there by Espinoza.
It is now going to be 3rd down and 8. Ball is on the 13-yard line of the Panthers, dropping back a couple steps, putting it up for Gary Wilson, and Wilson with the touchdown, jumps up over Axel Camarena, and I'll tell you what, we heard Garrett Wilson is something special. That is going to be his 13th touchdown of the season. Coming into this game, 54 receptions for 871 yards. Last week, 13 receptions for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the coverage wasn't all that bad. I think Axel Camarena did a pretty good job, but that's just Garrett Wilson using his athletic ability there to jump up high, bring the ball in, haul it in, and the Lake Travis Cavaliers strike first.
So with 6:32 remaining here in the opening quarter, it's Lake Travis that strikes first. They lead the Weslaco Panthers 7-0. This is a K-West production. Back at the Alamo Dome, that is Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison, and we saw why Hudson Card is looked at as a very, very good quarterback, already committed to Texas. This year he's completed 200 out of 279 passes. That is good for over 2,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Last week in the playoff victory, he completed 20 of 25 passes for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lake Travis last week defeated Madison. I believe the score was 56-35.
Yeah, very, very impressive drive there by Lake Travis. It started at the 7-yard line, if you recall, converted 2 third downs there, and got the score there.
All right, kickoff to Weslaco, and they will get the ball down to near the 32-yard line, where they'll start 1st and 10. Devin Denna on the return. Panthers today, they are in their basically white uniforms with the purple numerals, purple Panther on the side. And of course, Lake Travis, their colors are basically red, black, and silver, though we see mostly red on the top of the uniforms with the white numerals and the black pants.
Yeah, Lake Travis, in watching video of them, they had about 3 or 4 different kinds of uniforms there. So, yeah, I was wondering, what are they going to wear today? So I think they stuck to their tradition in wearing that red and black and silver.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 32-yard line. Jacob Cavazos is going to sweep around the right side. He'll pick up some yardage, very close to the 1st down. Nice play, stutter stepped a little bit, found an opening, and got that good rush.
Yeah, he got the angle on the right side. Let's give credit to number 1 there, Devin Denna, with a key block there. As you see the replay on number 8 there. And looks like Cavazos got about 8 yards or so.
Ball at the 40. It's going to be 2nd down and 2. We've got slots on each side. So again, let's see if the Panthers can come back quickly and try to get things going. Cavazos will keep it again, and he is going to get that 1st down. It looks like just barely needed to get a couple yards, and I believe he got just about that.
That's the first down for the Panthers, and that's what it's all about, Scott. Just to settle down, get a few 1st downs, lift your confidence a little bit here. I think the Panthers are now going to get into the game a little bit more, get comfortable, just treat it like any other game. Cavazos there with a nice run with a key block by Jeremy Coronado.
And Jeremy, what a good asset at running back. He was injured early in the year, did not play, but since he's come back, he's had some big touchdown runs and just a lot of fun to watch. Cavazos drops back about 5 yards, and his intended pass goes out of bounds. It was intended for Diego Martinez. I always like that young man when he plays the tight end. He missed some games with injuries, but he's got a couple touchdowns this year and always contributes.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got pretty good size and big and strong there. Runs very good routes there, and Jacob was looking for him there. Was under pressure again, coming up the middle there. And last week against Laredo United, the Longhorns came with a lot of blitzes up the middle there, so that's something to keep an eye on.
2nd down and 10, ball at the 44-yard line. And this time Cavazos will keep it again, and he is going to be tackled in the backfield. Very good ankle tackle that time by Nick Variel. Variel is a linebacker, and he just got him by the ankles, and not much at all. No gain, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 from the 44. Yeah,
Jacob trying to go on the right side there, but number 20 just doing a great job there, and no gain on the play there, and that's what you want to try to avoid are the 3rd and longs.
All right, motion by Jaden Cavazos, and the ball will go downfield, and it's intercepted. And it's going to be brought back to midfield, down to the 40, and a big interception by Copeland Gothard. He's a junior defensive back, and so not many interceptions this year for Cavazos, but one right there. I believe he only had 1 interception coming into this game.
Well, he had 2. He threw one last week.
All right.
1 in the regular season, and then this is his 3rd of the year.
All right.
And you just got to give credit to the defense there for reading Jacob's eyes there and coming up with the pick. And great field position starting at the 39-yard line.
So again, a big turnover. 4:54 remaining here in the opening quarter. And it is Lake Travis ahead of Weslaco 7-0. Spread formation, and it's going to be pitched back to the quarterback from Stevens. Tries to get down to Garrett Wilson. Does he hold on? My gosh, almost looked like it's a one-handed catch. A 32-yard, actually a 39-yard touchdown pass. A little bit of that flea flicker.
Yeah, all right, the flea flicker. That first they went to Weston Stevens there, gave it back to Hudson Card there, and had the matchup they wanted, threw it right down the field there, and watch the athleticism of Garrett Wilson just jumping up. And I mean, Roy Trevino was there, Axel Camarena was there, but just a great job there by Garrett Wilson.
And for a moment, it looked like he hauled it in with one hand. It was actually 2 hands, but when he went in the end zone, he held it up with 1 hand and kept his balance and kept the ball from being dropped. So we have the extra point attempt upcoming. It is up, and it is good. So with 4:45 remaining here in the opening quarter, it is now 14-0 Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. Garrett Wilson, we kept hearing about what he might do today, and already the first 2 touchdowns of the ball game are receptions by him. I think, 13 yards and 39 yards, something like that.
Yeah, 3 catches for 50 yards already in this game. Lake Travis taking advantage of a turnover. Panthers D got a turnover to early in the game, weren't able to do anything, so the Lake Travis Cavaliers are making you pay, and that's just something that the Weslaco Panthers are going to need to overcome as the game unfolds. You don't want to fall too far behind. It's already a 2-possession game.
And we're awaiting the kickoff. And it is Nathan
Onside kick, out of bounds.
Yep, out of bounds. Ellisor kicking it. So it'll be good field position for Weslaco. Let's see if they can capitalize. Were you surprised on that play?
On the touchdown?
No, on the onside kick.
Oh, yeah, I am a little bit.
I was kind of surprised, having that lead already.
Yes.
I didn't expect to see that kind of gimmick play.
Yeah,
giving Weslaco potentially good field position.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of teams call it the surprise onside, and that's probably what it was there. And it looked like they had an opportunity there, as you see. They're showing the replay here on the big scoreboard in the stadium, and Lake Travis looked like they were close to getting it, but Panthers. You see the coaches talking to the officials there, but it looks like the Panthers will keep the football with great field position here. Let's see if they can put themselves a good drive together.
We talked about Lake Travis defeating Madison last week, 56-35, their opening playoff game over Smithson Valley, 45-14. Weslaco so far in the playoffs. They beat Harlingen at home at Bobby Lackey Stadium, 25-14. And last week here in San Antonio, real nice facility, Doug Ferris facility over there. They defeated Laredo United 30-14. So the ball will be in Lake Travis territory at the 46-yard line. It is going to be 1st and 10, and the ball is going to be reversed. It is Devin Denna with it, and Denna is going to get down about to the 42-yard line, maybe picks up about 3 or 4 on that play. A lot of running, a lot of movement, but not much gain.
Yeah, absolutely. We know Coach Salinas now in his 2nd year with the Weslaco Panthers. There's always a wrinkle to the offense, and yeah, they did a reverse. It looked like they wanted to do a pass there, but
yeah, Denna did slow down for a moment. I was wondering if it was just me, but I think maybe he did want to pass it, just nobody open. So we do have motion left to right. Cavazos short pass, and it's going to go down for the 1st down to about the 35-yard line. Pickup of about 7 on that play by Denna. Denna's been one of my favorite players this year. Really gets after it. Had touchdowns the first 3 games, got injured, and now has come back strong again.
And I mean, he's not the biggest guy, but he is fast and plays with a lot of heart there. Yeah. Got some big-time yardage. It sets up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about him. I think the word overachieve would come in there, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So it is a little short, they say, of the 1st down. It is going to be 3rd and 1. Ball at the 37-yard line. Power formation. And this time, it's going to be Cavazos falling forward. Gets about the 1 yard needed for the 1st down. So maybe getting that onside kick and it not working could be what the Panthers need to reverse the momentum.
When it comes to field position, the Panthers have had that to start this game. The first possession was at the 46. Weren't able to do anything with that here. They started also at the 46. So an opportunity here to get some 1st downs and see if they can rack up some points.
All right, 1st down and 10 at the 35. Cavazos, he is going to think about the bubble screen. Now just throws it away. Nobody open. Smart play. Again, I'll tell you, looking forward to this.
And Jacob did the smart thing, Scott, was just roll out of the pocket, saw there was nobody open, just threw it away. live for another down there, didn't force anything. It was just great coverage by Lake Travis there.
All right, 2nd down and 10, ball at the 35-yard line. 2:56 remaining here in the opening quarter, and it is Lake Travis over the Weslaco Panthers, 14-0. This time it is going to be a little jet sweep, and it's going to be Devin Denna, and he's going to pick up about 5. Do you like the jet sweep?
It does when you have an athlete like Jaden Cavazos there who came in motion there, and that's how the jet sweep works. And Cavazos just gets the snap and then gives it to his teammate Jaden Cavazos. And they found a lane up the middle and got a healthy 5 yards there to set up a 3rd and 5 there. And being that they're already at the 30-yard line, I'm more than sure this is two down territory if it does come down to a 4th down.
All right, so clock is running, 2:23. Want to get some points on the board for sure. And this time Cavazos is going to keep it. He's going to go forward. He'll be a little bit short of the 1st down. And Mike, I got to agree with you. You would think for sure you are going to go for it. Maybe a couple yards short. And we do have a player shaken up on the play.
And it might be Jacob Cavazos. Let's see. He was the one that carried the ball there. He's slow to get up. It looks like he's grabbing his back there. Let's see. We see the replay here as he fakes it to Payne Canab, goes up the middle. Great block there. And just took a big hit there.
And if
by Lake Travis.
If he has to come out, it'll be Devin Hanks at quarterback this year. He has completed 8 of 9 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown. And again, of course, Coach Salinas out there. Everybody very quiet, hoping to see that Jacob's okay. He has really done a good job this year. So why we wait and see his condition. We're going to take a break. 2:02 remaining here in the 1st quarter. It is 14-0. Lake Travis over Weslaco. We're at the Alamo Dome, and this is a K-West production.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com. Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday.
Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And the injured player has now sat up. That's a good sign. Hope he'll get up in just a moment. And again...
And regardless, Scott, whether he's okay or not, he is going to have to sit out at least one play, and it is Jacob
Cavazos, right.
And so it's great to see him get up.
Good hand for him.
Yes.
Earlier today, Brownsville-Hanna lost a heartbreaker to Brandeis, 33-32. They actually got the ball down to the 28-yard line late in the game, and then there was a big sack. And then on the final play of the game, Hail Mary went down to about the 5-yard line, incomplete. And even if it had been caught, I don't think it would have been a touchdown. But hats off to Brownsville-Hanna. Good crowd came here, good game.
Yes, absolutely. Brownsville-Hanna put up a good fight, and hats off to them. I mean, they really, really carried the Valley banner here. Or this is the round where Valley teams struggle, and Brownsville-Hanna had the game, and it's just a great effort, and congratulations for a great season for the Golden Eagles.
And again, Hanks with the ball, and before he can hand it off, there is a whistle. And we've seen this young man play. He's got some mobility. He's got some athleticism. Going to be a false start. Going to move Weslaco back 5 yards.
And that actually sets up a 4th and 7 now, Scott, because that was a 4th and 2. So now it's a tougher one now. Now with Cavazos out of the game, it's going to be a tough. Well, we see. It looks like no. We have some substitutions. I thought maybe Jacob was one of them, but it's not. So we still have Devin Hanks in there. It looks like.
It would be a very long field goal. Martinez, I know, has hit an over 40-yarder. But this one will be close to 50 yards, and they're going to go for a field goal. So this one is going to be about 49 yards. This will be his long of the season. It's blocked. And regardless of that particular play, Martinez has hit over 40 extra points, been near perfect doing that. And this young man just came out this year from the soccer team. His only year to play. He's a senior, but what a good addition he was.
Yeah, absolutely. He's kicked about 3 or 4 over 40 yards. So Coach Salinas here felt like this young man could put some points on the board with this long field goal. Unfortunately, it was blocked. So now Lake Travis was able to overcome the Panthers, overcome that onside kick, actually. Yeah. Panthers got a first down and held them, so Lake Travis with the ball back.
And I don't disagree with that. You had the young quarterback in there. That was a lot of pressure putting him in a 4th and 7 position. All right, So Hudson Card back in there. He's going to hand it off, and the play is going to go for about 7 or 8 yards. Again, we talked about there is a lot of depth at running back, and I believe on that play it was Syrian Morrison. There's a flag before the next play gets off. It's going to be a false start against Lake Travis, so they'll go back 5 yards. Now it's going to be 2nd and 5, actually 2nd and 6. Had been about 2nd and 1. Ball back on the 36-yard line. Lake Travis in their own territory. Hudson Card goes back to pass and finds a receiver wide open, takes it over midfield. So on that play, picks up about 20 yards. Nice play. So it's going to now be 1st down and 10. Jaden Kanab on the tackle. And this time, once again, Morrison, he is going to go not too far. He had an ankle tackle out there. He was slowed up and coming up and slowing up on that play. It was Marco Noriega. He was the leading tackler early in the season, had some injury problems, but very, very good player. A gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 9.
Marco coming back from his 2nd injury of the season, making an impact last week with some big tackles and a sack.
All right, this time going to be a sack, it looks like. Well, actually, it was a hand off to Morrison, and he was dropped for a loss, but there's a flag on the play. Seth Sanchez, he's always in the mix.
Yeah, he fought off a block there and made an outstanding play for a loss of 1 there, but let's see what the flag is.
Holding, it's going to be holding against the offense. So, again, a break for the Panthers.
And that was the end of the 1st quarter there, Scott.
All right, we have gone through 1 quarter of play, and it is 14-0, and we see it is Lake Travis over Weslaco at the Alamo Dome. This is a K-West production.
Texas high school football doesn't get any bigger than this. Fox Sports Southwest is your home for the UIL Football State Championships at AT&T Stadium. The battle for bragging rights starts December 19th on Fox Sports Southwest and the Fox Sports app.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday.
And we are back to action. First play of the 2nd quarter. And the pass is complete. And that time it is going to go, let's see, we got 2 different rosters. I was actually looking at the JV roster. And it goes to Grayson Sandlin. And so the ball is now near midfield.
And that was Grayson's first catch of the afternoon here.
Right.
And I think now officially that was the last play of the 1st quarter. I guess the officials gave Lake Travis 1 more play.
Well, again, Sandlin, the tight end, has had a pretty good year. 22 catches for 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last week, he had 3 for 30. So, Mike, your thoughts after 1 quarter of play?
Oh, well, I mean, Lake Travis moving the ball at will, got the running game going, and then Carr just making big throws to Garrett Wilson. I think the Panther defense is playing solid. I know they've given up a few big plays, but I mean, like Coach Salinas says, the bend don't break kind of defense. They came up with a turnover there, but the offense just needs to get going a little bit here.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 12, ball at midfield. Here in the 2nd quarter, Lake Travis going from our right to left. Card has the ball. He's going to keep it, and he is going to get the 1st down and more. Winds up getting 12 or 13 yards. We mentioned that he's done a good job of running the ball this season. So far, he has, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say that we see Card's mobility there. We've showcased his arm in the 1st quarter here. Saw a lane up the middle and got the yardage needed for a 1st down.
Ball at the 35, 1st down and 10. Card will hand it off this time, and it's going to be a gain for the 1st down. the ball will go down to the 22-yard line, a gain of about 13 on that play.
And we see a flag down here at about the 18-yard line.
Right.
Well, we talked about the Panthers needing to make those open field tackles there, and had about 2 or 3 missed tackles there. So,
all right, Sean Brown-Nixon on the run. And I want to make a correction. I called him Morrison for a couple plays, but they handed me a JV roster, so I was looking at that for a moment. So, again, Nixon's got his 3rd rush of the game. And it is a first down. First down and 10 at the 24-yard line of the Panthers. Dropping back a few steps is Card. Card down the field, has an open receiver and overthrows him. Receiver was open for a moment. That was Lake McGree, but couldn't get to it.
Yeah, Card had a lot of time there.
There's Lake.
Yes, and you see there the replay, just looking to his left, got the matchup he wanted and just zipped it to the end zone there. Had a few steps on his receiver, just a little overthrown there.
So it is going to be second down and 10, ball at the 23-yard line of Weslaco, and there is pressure, screen pass, and now the ball goes to Stevens, and Stevens will go to 23 yards for the touchdown. So Card, under pressure, dumps the ball off to his running back, and Stevens will take it the distance. You see the replay. He's getting pressure, dumps the ball off. I believe it was Seth Sanchez. That would not be any surprise.
Right. It was perfectly set up there. The pressure was coming from the left side. There was nobody on the right side, and Card finding his man there. There's really nobody in front of him. And Lake Travis, the 3rd touchdown of the half.
All right, extra point attempt coming up. Hayes McCannon, and he puts it up, and it is good. McCannon so far this year, 41 out of 42 on points after touchdowns, and 2 of 2 on field goals. 10:51 remaining here in the first half. It is now Lake Travis up against Weslaco 21-0. This is a K-West production.
Talk to your counselor about CTE courses that provide academic credit in science, math, English, fine arts, and speech. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for CTE.
Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And again, it's been all passing for touchdowns so far.
It has. Card basically dissecting the Panther defense there for 3 touchdown passes there. My question here is, what is the health of Jacob Cavazos? Will he come back into the game?
Good question. By the way, for Card, he now has 41 touchdown passes this year, only 3 interceptions. Just an amazing year. And if he has a halfway decent night, he's going to go over 3,000 yards passing for the season.
And is only a junior.
So the kickoff is going back, and it will be picked up at about the 5-yard line. And a nice return. And it was Jacob Cavazos. Maybe a fumble, we'll have to wait and see. Flags do go up. We'll know that for sure.
I see a flag down there. Looked like Roy Trevino was on the return, and I think he might have even fumbled it there, but the Panthers do recover it, and let's see what the flag is.
Officials conferring right now. Trevino, what a year he's had. Multiple interceptions.
Multiple interceptions helping the defense out, but his contribution on special teams has been just as big.
Yeah, I think he's maybe even on special teams had a touchdown.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, but how about last week's blocked field goal?
Blocked field goal, right.
Crucial situation, and kept the game at 7-6 versus maybe 14-6 possibly, or it would have been a field goal, so it would have been 9-6 at the half. And
all right, going to be a penalty against Weslaco. Going to move the ball back to the 13-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Weslaco moving from our left to right. And it is going to be Hanks in at quarterback, so Cavazos not back in yet at least. It'll be a running play, and it will pick up a couple of yards, and that is going to be all. It's going to be Jeremy Cavazos getting his first action of the night as a running back. So we're going to have 2nd down and 8, ball at the 15-yard line.
And with the Weslaco Panthers, Scott, when somebody goes down, and we know how important Jacob Cavazos is next man up.
Yeah.
And so right now, Jeremy with an opportunity here may get a few more carries than what he's used to.
All right. Hanks got the ball, and he'll give it off to give it off to Coronado. Coronado will go down toward the left. Good lateral pursuit, not much at all. So we're going to have 3rd down coming up, and we'll give them maybe a yard. 3rd down and 6, ball at the 17-yard line. Clock running, under 10 minutes remaining here in the first half, and it is Lake Travis leading at 21-0. Again, one back in the backfield. Coronado, slots on each side. Now motion. And Hanks will do a little bubble screen. Not much going. Ankle tackle. Small gain by Devin Denham. It'll be 3rd down. Actually 4th down now. 4th and 6, so no gain on that play.
No gain. And I mean, it's very difficult when you're a backup quarterback and you haven't played a whole lot this season to come into a 3rd-round playoff game in the Alamo Dome. I think Coach Salinas is trying to keep things simple for his quarterback. Let him settle down, because if Jacob doesn't come back, I mean, it's going to be Devin Hanks the rest of the way.
He is a junior. Now, who is punting out there? Let's take a look at that.
Looks like Diego Martinez was a punter.
All right, he's the backup punter then. And there will be a fair catch. Kyle Aves. And we are going to have 1st down and 10. So, again, we've seen good defense this season by Weslaco, and they've really got to keep the team in the game, especially now with Cavazos out.
Now they've played well all year long, but now you're kind of asking them a little bit more because of the situation. And if Cavazos doesn't come back, I mean, there goes your game plan, really.
So ball at midfield, 1st down and 10. Card, both passing and having the running backs do the work tonight. And this time, it's going to be a pickup of about 6 on the play. And it's going to be the senior running back once again, Sean Brown-Nixon. Came into the game with 244 yards, been adding to that total. So 2nd down and 5, ball in Weslaco territory at the 45-yard line. 8:25 remaining here in the first half. We have a slot on the right, play action pass, and a receiver wide open at the 20-yard line, and he is going to go all the way for the touchdown, and that's about a 43-yard touchdown reception. Kyle Evis, just wide open.
There must have been a breakdown in the secondary. And yeah, the young man was wide open there, and goes around him. You see the reception there. Roy Trevino couldn't get him, and just found a lane there to the middle of the end zone. And once again, Lake Travis scoring again.
Extra point attempt coming up by Hayes McCannon. It is up, and it is good. So with 8:07 remaining here in the first half, it's Lake Travis over Weslaco, 28-0. This is a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in college scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce or continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we are proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for high school and beyond.
And back once again with Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison at the Alamo Dome, San Antonio. Big place and a big game so far for Lake Travis. They have really got the passing game together. I believe all their scores have been through the air, right?
Yeah, Hudson Card already with 4 touchdown passes. Done an outstanding job there. We see why the University of Texas pursued him. And now, this is the first time all year long that the Weslaco Panthers have been in this kind of position there. So I'm curious to see how they respond. I mean, we know the kind of heart that they have. And, I mean, they've come this far working hard and never giving up, and I'm sure the team is not going to give up.
Well, you know, Card has completed almost 72% of his passes this year, and each time he completes a pass, the gain is 13.5 yards.
Yeah, and the ratio is unbelievable there. So when you throw 70-some%, and you have talents like Garrett Wilson on your team, and Kyle Ayers, and the running back there, I mean, it's an explosive offense.
All right, ball is up. And it is going to be taken and going to go to the 20 and finally brought down to about the 28-yard line by Jaden Cavazos. As we mentioned, Baker Mayfield was once a quarterback here. And I may see him tomorrow. I have to cover the Texans game. I don't know if I want to talk to him about this game or not if it doesn't go Weslaco's way.
And who knows? He may be watching us today, so he is.
Right.
Hello to Baker.
Yeah, well, he's done a great job. I saw him play a couple times in Oklahoma in person. And off to a great start in his pro career. Heisman Trophy winner. Okay, how many high schools can say that a Heisman Trophy winner?
Not many.
Yeah.
No.
Weslaco, first down and 10, ball at their own 28-yard line. Hank's still in there. And he is going to hand it off to, on the misdirection, to Payne Kanab. And Kanab this time is going to get about 8 or 9. So keeping it simple so far with the young quarterback. I think maybe a screen was in there and he threw, and just handoffs.
Yeah, just handoffs there. And then when you have a guy like Payne Kanab who runs hard, they're very, very strong. Not at the fastest guy, but plays with a lot of intensity there. Got good yardage.
Pickup of 8, second down and 2, ball at the 36. And before the snap, there is a whistle. Timeout on that play. So we'll take timeout here. 7:35 remaining here in the first half. 28-0. It is Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production. All right, we're back once again. We are at the Alamo Dome. Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And again, we appreciate everyone tuning into this K-West production. We wish the score was a little different, but Weslaco giving it their best effort against a great football team from Austin that's won 6 state championships, so they definitely have the skins. All right, handoff, and it should be close to a first down.
That time, Lake Travis brought in a few extra guys in the box there, expecting the run, and that's what it was there. So let's see where the official spots it.
Yeah, they do. Payne Kanab got the couple yards he needed. So it's going to be first down and 10. 2-yard pickup. The trouble is, when if they have to do a lot of running the rest of the game, it's going to, even if they do score, it's going to take a lot of time off the clock. Tough to catch up when you're down 28-0. And another whistle and a flag. So some sort, I guess, of illegal formation or something against Weslaco. We'll move them back 5. And it's going to be first and 15, ball back at the 33-yard line.
And this is Weslaco's 5th penalty of the half there. and they're on pace for double-digit penalties here.
Again, Hanks at quarterback. Jacob Cavazos injured earlier in the game. This time, Peyton Knob tries to go around the right side, picks up a couple. So it'll be second down at 13.
Trying to follow his offensive lineman there, but yeah, you see the Lake Travis there pursuing there. It just seems like when whoever has the ball, there's already two guys waiting for him there, and it's tough sometimes here. And that's why penalties are crucial. You try your best to avoid those little things.
All right. So handoff again, and not much doing at all. Drop for a loss that time, Peyton Knob. And again, when you're forced to just mostly run the ball, because maybe you have an inexperienced quarterback, they start knowing it's going to be the run, and they get ready for it.
Well, now what happens there, Scott, is that the team's best player is out of the game. So basically what happens is, hey, you know, you expect a guy like Peyton Knob to get more carries, and Lake Travis is ready for it.
And this time it's going to be a jet sweep. It was 3rd and 13. Previous play, no gain. And this one is going to lose several yards. Jaden Cavazos on the play. And the trouble is, Jacob not only is a great passer, he's also the team's top rusher. You take that out of the equation, too. So it's going to be 4th down. Loss of 4 on the play. 4th and 17. Ball back at the 31-yard line of Weslaco. Get ready for the punt. Diego Martinez again has come in and taken over the punting duties for the injured Cavazos. Also does the rugby-style kick, and it's going to bounce and be picked up near the 42-yard line. So we have timeout on the field. 5:10 remaining. First half, 28-0. It is Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production. And we're back once again. Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. 3rd round of the playoffs. And this time, Card fakes the handoff, has a receiver open, and gets it down the field for about 12 yards. And now the receiver's going to do the rest himself. Yards after the catch, he is going to go for the touchdown. And that touchdown is 58 yards. And the last 46 were done by the receiver. They call that yards after catch. Kyle Levis gets the touchdown.
Kyle Levis just found a hole there in the zone there, and Card found him. And after that, he just did the rest. Was able to catch the ball, turn around, and just run down the sideline for an easy score.
Extra point attempt coming up. Kick is up, and it is good. 4:56 remaining here in the second quarter. 35-0, Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production.
Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, the big plays from gridiron games across the state.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Back with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And Evis, one of the problems is not so much that the defenders aren't trying. These guys just got so much speed.
Yeah.
I mean, they just get behind the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all Card has to do is find his guy, whoever it may be in the field, and then after that, you just let him do the rest, and that's what we've seen here. Card with now 5 touchdown passes early in the game. We saw Garrett Wilson haul in a couple of touchdown passes, and now it's Ben Eves coming down with a couple of more touchdown passes. Only has 3 catches, but for 133 yards.
That's Evis?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. All right. just athleticism. We're seeing some real athleticism by Lake Travis. Taking nothing away from Wesco, just complimenting Lake Travis.
And with 4:56 left in the second quarter, something that Coach John Boswell would always tell me when there's this kind of game is treat the game like it's 0-0, and that's something that the Panthers are going to need to do.
That's good philosophy. So short kick, and it's going to be picked up by Camarena, Axel Camarena, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers. We don't know the extent of Jacob Cavasso's injury. Keep hoping he comes back out there on offense.
It's still going to be Devin Hanks there at quarterback. And as you mentioned, only a junior. Jacob is also a junior, but you know, we know that Jacob is going to be the starting quarterback next year. But regardless, this is a great opportunity and great experience for Devin Hanks, because you never know if maybe next year in a big game they're going to need him, and this experience is going to pay off.
Ball at the 35-yard line. Panthers have it. Going to be a pass, little bubble screen. Devin Denna, and Denna will pick up a few yards before he's knocked out of bounds. Just try and do some safe passes. You can see part of the philosophy of the coach.
Yeah, that's Devin Hanks' second completion there. Nothing special there. Just
both screens.
Bubble screen. Give it to your athletic players there. Let them make a play. Got a couple of yards.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 32-yard line. Under 5 minutes remaining here. First half. Jeremy Coronado gets it, and he's going to go ahead for about 3 or 4. Coronado again. Gains 4 on the play. Always enjoy watching him play.
And it's nice to see him come back and have the kind of year he's had after, as you mentioned, injured to start off the season, missed about 4 or 5 games, and has made a difference. It gave the offense another element.
Definitely. Last week, 10 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. So this time, Hanks drops back and tries to get it to his intended receiver, and it would be near a first down, but the pass is incomplete. And the intended receiver on that play was Rolando Barones.
Yeah, it looked like Devin there had a man there for a first down, but just felt the pressure a little bit, I think. And that's what Lake Travis wanted to do.
Isn't that the first time he's really dropped back in the pocket in this game? Had a couple bubble screens, but he's only thrown one for 3 or 4 times since he's come in. So it's 4th down and 3, ball at the 37-yard line. 4:14 remaining. And I believe we do have a timeout for a second. So as you look at this, you see, you know, it's a situation that's not the best in the world, but you got to go in halftime and tell the guys, look, and maybe even talk about Wesco East last year, I don't know. But you say Wesco East came in here and they had a tough first half in this very venue against Cibolo Steel, but they outscored them in the second half. You got to come up with some motivation to keep the guys going.
Sure, absolutely, because it is a 48-minute game. It's not a 24-minute game, it's 48, and anything can happen.
Right.
That's why you play all 48 minutes, and that's how you treat it. And I mean, these are young men, they're teenagers, and they've never been in this position before. This first time they play in a 3rd round, first time for the program in 11 years. And, you know, the coaching staff have been in this position before in this game when Coach Salinas was at Edinburgh Vela, bringing that winning pedigree to Wesco, and has done an outstanding job. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the coaches are going to let them know, like, guys, you know, there's still 24 minutes to play. And as I mentioned earlier, pretend it's 0-0. Treat it like it's 0-0.
So 4th down and 3, ball at the 37-yard line. Again, it's going to be punted. And ball is going to be returned by Evis again. And Evis is tackled in his own territory, but there is a flag.
Let's see if Lake Travis was caught with a hold here.
All right. I was trying to see with the punters. They may have switched punters, but we'll try to catch that on the next series. So in this type of game, again, you want to keep the players motivated. Elita will block in the back. So ball's going to be moving back. And at what point, you know, if it gets real big, do you start putting some guys just to say, hey, you got to play in the game? You put the Jessies in, Hernandez and people like that.
The guys that are sophomores and juniors, and that's a great point there. I mean,
at some point, do you do that? You know, maybe later in the
perhaps,
game?
Perhaps. I mean, that we're going to see.
Right.
Obviously, the seniors still have a lot of football left, but then we're going to see a glimpse of what's going to happen in the future.
All right, we have 3 wideouts on the left side. Hudson Card at quarterback, feels the pressure, and he is going to run the ball, and he is going to get about 5 yards. He actually leaped over one player and maybe got a couple more. I wonder if he's on the track team, too.
The hurdles, perhaps.
Yeah. Jesse Ramos, one of the players in on the pressure.
Yeah, we see him there on the replay. Seth Sanchez there, then J.C. Ramos. Great effort there. And then just watch this, a leap there, and was forced out of bounds by Roy Trevino. It looks like they're giving him 5 yards. So he probably stepped out a few yards before him.
I think that was Gabriel Gonzalez who he leaped over. But I guess we have another game coming up with our Valley team here today, right? Isn't Mission Veterans playing here later?
Yes, Mission Veterans will play here against Corpus Christi Veterans. That's a fairly new school, I believe. They're about 5 years old, I think, but have become a power in the Coastal Bend area. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting one there. I know Coach Gilpin there in Mission Vets has done an outstanding job there.
Great guy.
Great guy, and has been consistent with the program, competing for district championships and going deep into the playoffs.
All right, so we wish them the best of luck, both teams.
Absolutely.
And again, we get ready for 2nd down and 5. 3:52 remaining here in the opening half. 35-0 Lake Travis. They lead Weslaco. But remember, Weslaco last year had just won 3 games. They were 3-6. So to be in the 3rd round of the playoffs in Coach Salinas' second year, no matter what happens today, is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it really is. And we see number 3 there.
And Sean Nixon Brown, another big run. He goes from about his 35-yard line down to about the 30 of Weslaco. So he's going to pick up about 29 yards when they finally mark it. Ball's at the 31-yard line. And again, ball is going to be handed off to Sean Brown Nixon. He'll pick up 3 or 4 on that play.
Just going up the middle there, following his lead block there. Got about 3 or 4 yards.
There's the young man, senior.
Senior, yes.
And I believe they're going to make a switch at running back, bringing Weston Stevens. We saw that sophomore a lot earlier in the game. He'll be in the backfield now. Motion, right to left. 2 receivers on each side, spread formation. Card has it, and he will find his receiver, and he'll get the first down near the 15-yard line to Stevens. So Stevens comes in and immediately catches the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, we see the replay there, just Card finding him out in the flat there, and basically is taking what the defense is giving them, got positive yardage there for a first down.
So ball is 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line in Weslaco territory. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Card drops back, and he is going to get the ball to another receiver this time, and that is going to be Garrett Wilson back in there, and he is going to go down to about the 3-yard line. So he picks up 14 on that reception. Remember, he scored the first 2 touchdowns of the ball game. This is the young man that's going to be heading to Ohio State.
Just finding their best athlete there up the middle, running a crossing pattern there, and just a great job there. Almost scored a touchdown there.
For a moment I thought he might have. So Brown Nixon back in the backfield, and before the ball is passed off, there is a whistle. We have to see who it's against. Going to be against the offense. So they'll go back 5. I believe Grayson Samlin, he's got a touchdown, I think, in this game. He was the intended receiver. So it is going to be 1st down and 8, ball on the 8-yard line, 1st and goal to go. 2:50 remaining. Stevens in the backfield. He is going to get the pass, and he just came out of the backfield, got in the end zone and scored 8 yards. He just went in motion and no one could catch him. Nearest guy to him was Jacob Bailly, and Bailly had a great second half last week, right? Intercepted a ball for a touchdown. Yeah, he's had a great season.
He's had a great season. Another senior on the squad there making a contribution there. And for Hudson Card, his 6th touchdown pass in the half.
All right, extra point is good. 2:48 remain till halftime. It is now 42-0. Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com. Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday.
Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. And, of course, Mike, I've enjoyed all year listening to you on the pre- and post-game show with Carlos Robledo. That's always a lot of fun, and you've had some great guests on there. You really get some of those young guys to talk, you know. I know when you're a young football player in high school, maybe just a junior or sophomore, maybe not the most chatty in the world when it comes to being on television. But.
Yeah, you know what, and I mean, as you mentioned, great interviews there. It's fun when you have a great season and when you win games and you get to enjoy the post game with the coaches and the fans and the players. They come and have a great time, and this is the 3rd year we do this, and it's great that the Carlos Robledo brought that to K-West.
I like it.
And it's, we've really enjoyed it, and I think the fans have as well.
I always tell people, look, your set looks like something out of ESPN. You know, I do some work with their radio network, and I've actually gone and seen their set when they have game day, their radio set.
Yeah.
And it looks like something they have. I mean, it's very, very professional. So
that's the idea. That's what we want. Is we want to have fun. We see Devin
Denna has the ball, and Denna gets out near the 45-yard line before he's finally dragged out of bounds. So a nice run by him, and it's actually the kicker, Hayes McCannon, that brings him down.
Devin Denna gets it at about the 5-yard line there. We see the replay there, and just finds the wedge there, does an outstanding job, and just hustles there. And as we mentioned, not the biggest guy, but God, look at him go. And isn't afraid to take the hit with a healthy return there, 44-yard line. The Panthers needed a spark here, and maybe that can uplift the team a little bit here.
Well, you got to start somewhere. So if you get some points on the board to end the half, you've got some motivation saying, hey, this team can't shut us out, no matter how big or bad they are.
Sure.
We can still play with them.
Something to take into the locker room.
Yeah. You take little steps and move forward. Except on that play, you're moving backward.
Right. Looks like we have a timeout here by Coach Salinas.
All right. And again, we had an earlier game, later game tonight. And again, the winner of this game moves on to where?
To the state quarterfinal, and it would be against Converse Judson, who defeated San Benito last night.
And was the game in San Benito?
The game was in San Benito.
Wow, that's great for the Valley.
It's terrific for the Valley. I know last year Los Fresnos hosted Lake Travis in Los Fresnos on a Saturday afternoon. It's just a wonderful opportunity. And in the Valley, that's something that we try to take advantage of if we have the opportunity to host a home game in a third round, because it's no longer just Los Fresnos or San Benito or Weslaco. It's the whole Valley now coming together and supporting the area and the region.
All right, so it is going to be 1st and 10 for Weslaco, their own 44-yard line, and we have 2:39 remaining till the half. Ball is fumbled on the snap, but Hanks does fall on it, so he was aware of what was going on, and Devin Hanks saves it from being a turnover, though there is going to be a loss on the play. Loss of 3 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 13, ball at the 41-yard line. And we see coming into the ball game right now, Jay Granados, who's had a good year, comes in for Jaden Cavazos, I should say. And Peyton Kanab is going to try to sweep around the left side, may get a yard or 2, but that is all. And Peyton Kanab, what a good year he's had. Last year only was in several games. I remember against San Antonio Marshall, right? He returned a kickoff on a hot Saturday afternoon for a touchdown. Then several games later, I guess he was injured and missed the rest of the year. But went to the weight room, worked out hard, and this guy has been a huge contributor, even threw a touchdown pass in a game earlier this year to Jacob Cavazos.
Right, making a contribution. You know, not maybe it doesn't show on the stat sheet, but just his presence as a blocker and getting those physical yards, coming back stronger from last year.
Well, I think as a passer, he's 2 for 2 for 55 yards, and that ball is incomplete. It would have been a first down if it was caught. Intended receiver was Jay Granados, who we just mentioned came in.
And Jay with an opportunity there. The ball was just dropped there.
Yeah.
Would have had a first down, and got to come down with that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. We have another fourth down here with 1:26 left in the half here.
A couple of guys back there guarding him. Maui Trevino and also Aiden Nava. So he would have had to catch that between a couple of defenders. And again, I want to check to make sure we got who the punter is here. I know there was been a change, obviously, with Cavazos out, and we'll see who's doing it this time. All right. And the ball will go down to about the 15-yard line. And it is going to be a flag. And the returner finally goes out at the 35.
Yeah, this is going to be an easy call for the officials. It was a pretty obvious illegal block in the back here, so this will come back.
And I believe it may be Rodney Garza. It's the punter.
Rodney Garza is a third-string quarterback in this team. I think he was the quarterback of the JV team, if I'm not mistaken, and had a great year. And let's see what the roster has him, but he might be only a sophomore. Yes, he's only a sophomore, so I imagine once we move on from Jacob Cavazos and Devin Hanks to graduation after next football season, it's going to be Rodney Garza's team for 1 year, his senior year.
All right, so I believe it might have been blocking in the back. Ball is going to go inside the 10-yard line down to the 7. 1:10 remaining. You would think that maybe they just want to run out the clock and go to the half. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, they've got great runners.
Sure. I mean, they have a big lead.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to risk injury or anything drastic like that.
Yeah, and it is a running play. And it goes over to the left side. And again, it's a nice run for Brown Nixon, Sean Brown Nixon, a first down. Ball was on the 7-yard line. And it's going to go to about the 22, so a gain of 15. And actually a pass this time. It'll be complete. Evis gets it near the 40, so that's a gain of 17. 50 seconds still remaining. They're going to go for something here. Thought they might just run it out, but maybe they're going to take a lot of the starters out. And this is going to be their last series. And that may be why they're doing this.
Perhaps. That's a very good point there, and I think we're going to have a false start against the offense there.
And you know, obviously you're going to have another playoff game if you win today, if you're Lake Travis. But still, if you know it's the end of the afternoon for you, potentially, you want to do what you can to say, hey, we went out with a score on our last series. Now, again, we don't know this for sure.
No, that's a great point there. You want to end on a positive note here, and you know, you already have the big lead, but you just kind of want to make sure. Put the icing on the cake a little bit.
And because I don't see them like trying to run up the score or anything, but I think this is just something you have pride, and again, we're still just in the second quarter, so you got to play. All right. Again, a little bubble screen, and this time it's to Will Stevens, or Weston Stevens, I should say. And Weston is going to do a nice job going down the right side of the field, and he is going to finally be out at about the 36-yard line. And just a nice gain on that play. Wow.
So, yeah, nobody in the backfield. Hudson Carter's very, very comfortable as the lone man back there, and just, as you mentioned, throwing a bubble screen there and just letting his players do the rest.
That was close to a 40-yard gain. So another pass, and this time it is caught. And the reception is made by Lake McGree. He's a tight end wide receiver. So the ball is going to go down to the 20-yard line. First down and 10. So another pickup in double digits. Remember, we said the quarterback, every completed pass is more than 13 yards, and that probably was about that amount on that completion to Lake. Now Card has a receiver open, and he is going to go for the touchdown about 20 yards. So nice reception. We'll see the replay. And guess who? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
That would be his third touchdown, I believe.
Third touchdown of the game and 7th touchdown pass for Hudson Card, all in the first half.
And remember, This drive began with just a little over a minute remaining, I believe, and there's still 20 seconds remaining. Very quick drive.
Very quick drive. Less than a minute, about 50 seconds.
All right. So extra point attempt is up, and it is good. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. 49-0 Lake Travis over Weslaco. This is a K-West production.
The best football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champion. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to SeatGeek.com. Download the free Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Get live high school scores from across the state. Check out team schedules and show your school spirit live online. Download the best high school football app in Texas. Search Football Friday.
Along with Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison, and if memory serves me correct, that was, what, about a 30-second drive, went about 92 yards. I'm just kind of estimating it. I mean, that just shows you the quickness and the quick strike capacity of Lake Travis.
And just the open field big plays that the athletes make, just Hudson Card finding his guy and just let them do the rest and get good blocking down the field. And the ball, the drive started at 6. You and I were talking, are they going to just let the clock go, or are they going to keep playing? Nope. They feel like, no, we're going to keep playing, and went 94 yards in about 6-7 plays.
All right. Ball will be kicked off in just a second. McKinnon, who made a tackle, remember, against Denna. When Denna returned it to near midfield, will be kicking off. And with 20 seconds left, Panthers will get one more attempt. They've got one timeout remaining. And so far, there's 2 kickers. Nathan Ellison, he has kicked 18 out of 19 extra points. Coming into this game, Hayes McKinnon, 41 of 42, also 2 of 2 field goals. So they've split their kicking a little bit this year, Lake Travis.
Yeah, let everybody contribute. Yeah. They have a couple of quality kickers, and just let them contribute and help.
In the home roster, I guess it's a traveling roster, but a lot of guys are here. It looks like a home roster. I mean, you can see the difference in discrepancy, how many more players are here for Lake Travis than for Weslaco. And it is
Jeremy
Coronado. Yeah, Jeremy Coronado with the carry. And he is going to pick up 4 on the play. It is going to be second down 6 at the 32-yard line, but I don't think we'll run another play. We'll have to see. I guess they did get it off in time. And this will be a play for a couple yards, and there is a flag after Coronado goes down. We'll have to see if they just wave it off and end the quarter. It depends probably if it's defensive or offensive. So maybe against the defense it is, so there'll be another play with no time on the clock.
So I think the officials will give the Panthers one more play before we go into the dressing room.
So ball now in Lake Travis territory at the 48-yard line. Again, final play, barring some sort of penalty, of the first half. Slots on each side. Coronado in the backfield. Pass is complete. Looks like it was to Jaden Cavazos. He picked up about 8 on the play, and that is going to be the end of the first half of play. We're at the Alamo Dome. We are here in San Antonio, Texas. It's regional semifinal action, and at halftime from Austin, it is Lake Travis 49, and from Weslaco, our Panthers 0. This is a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD is the right choice because we now offer open enrollment, free tuition, free transportation, access to award-winning UIL and extracurricular activities, admittance into summer enrichment programs, and schools recently awarded with numerous TEA distinction designations for their academic success. Live there, learn here. For families in Weslaco and now anywhere in the Valley, WISD is the right choice.
Are you ready? Oh, yeah! Are you ready? Oh, yeah! Woo! We are Weslaco!
And good evening. I'm Scott Harrison along with Mike Gonzalez. If you're just joining us, we're at the Alamodome. We are in San Antonio, Texas. It is playoff action, regional semifinal. District 25 6A, Lake Travis Cavaliers, 11-1 on the season, 7-1 in district, taking on the Weslaco Panthers, 11-1 overall, also 5-1 in district. They're from District 31 6A. And it has been a rough first half for the Panthers, the team we normally follow, to say the least. Mike, 49-0. And it's just a team with a lot of talent out there, guys that are going to big schools. You know, you got Hudson Card, the quarterback, committed to Ohio State. You've got Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver, going to Ohio State, and they're showing their talent tonight.
No doubt about that, Scott. I mean, after a lost fumble in the first possession of the game, the Cavaliers haven't looked bad and have looked like that dominant team that we all thought during August when the season started, that there was talk about possibly the squad competing for a national championship. And we mentioned the Division I standouts, Garrett Wilson with 3 touchdowns tonight, and Hudson Card, only a junior, threw for 368 yards, 16 of 20 passing, 7 touchdown passes.
Wow.
Very, very impressive here. And the Panthers had some early opportunities, as mentioned, got a fumble at the first possession of the game, weren't able to do anything with that. Had some good field position, and the offense has struggled a little bit. And then Jacob Cavazos, the starting quarterback that has carried this offense, was lost. Believe it was late in the first quarter with an injury, and Devin Hanks has taken over. And so basically, when you lose your best player and your offense is basically surrounded around him, it kind of changes everything really as far as the game plan is concerned. And now 49-0 to start the third. You got to treat it like it's 0-0.
And Weslaco, they will get the ball to begin the second half. And the ball bounced on the field. The Panthers got it. It's going to start at the 23. And one correction, talking to the people. Of course, we're from Rio Grande Valley, and we pronounce the name Eves, but it's Eves.
Eves, okay.
Kyle Eves.
Okay.
So we just want to make that one correction.
Sure.
And, any of his family's listening, we were just saying it the way we'd say it in the Valley. So, but his name is Eves, and he's had a touchdown or two himself as a receiver. So we see the young man, number 4, coming out, and that is Devin Hanks. Hanks will start with his running back, Jeremy Coronado. Ball is over at the 25-yard line where they mark it, 1st and 10. Right to left is where the Panthers are going here in the third quarter. Bubble screen, and it is going to get nothing. And you can see the intended receiver was Diego Martinez. Martinez, again, guy does a lot of blocking, but when he's had an opportunity to catch the ball, he's made the most of his opportunities. As a matter of fact, last week in the playoff win, he had 2 catches for 16 yards. Give him 1 yard on that reception. And it's going to be 2nd down and 9 at the 26. This time a running play going straight forward. And that will be, I believe, Coronado. And now it will be 3rd down and 5. And as we look, I'm looking at one of the players that's just come in. We talked about when would we see the Jessies. Well, Jesse Hernandez is in the ball game at running back. He'll be to the left of the quarterback, and it's going to be handed off to Hernandez. He doesn't get much at all, but I like Jesse this year. When the sophomore came in and got his opportunities, he had some really long runs for touchdowns.
And as we see here, Scott, the man is running hard here, is getting the opportunity here. We're getting the glimpse of the future. And I mean, down 49-0 in the second half, you're asking quite a bit for your team to come back. So you're really, what this is all about is for the seniors. There's 27 seniors on this roster here. It's the last 24 minutes of football here. I mean, anything can happen, but there's a very good chance. It's the last 24 minutes for the seniors. And then for the underclassmen, it's about building something for next year.
4th down and 5, going to be a punt, and it's going to roll down to near the 20-yard line. So a nice job punting the ball. And you said that's the quarterback of the future. Rodney Garza, right? Rodney Garza.
Garza's only a sophomore.
Right.
He'll be a senior when Jacob Cavazos and Devin Hanks graduate after 2019-2020 school year.
And of course, a lot of punters do the kicking, right? Because I guess it gives them the option of maybe throwing it on 4th down. And they also, a lot of them do the rugby kicks. And they've got a new quarterback. And the quarterback will give his name in just a minute after this first play. It's going to be a running play, and it's going to pick up about 6 or 7 yards. It was Wesley Irwin in. Now, we talked about they have a bunch of running backs with over 200 yards, and Wesley is one of them. And Wesley's just a sophomore. He came into the game with 249 yards, and they're huddling up so fast we hardly have time to tell you about who's running and not running. But, again, it's going to be a first down, pickup of about 10 on the play after pickup of 7 on the first play. And the new quarterback, Pete Janasek. So far this year, he's completed 13 of 21 passes for 258 yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week, he was 1 of 3 for 39 yards and a touchdown. So Janasek is in there now, and I think we've seen the last of Mr. Card. And again, this time he is going to try to pass the ball. Had 8 rushing on the last play. And this time he's probably going to pick up 6 or 7. So Janasek looks like he's a very good athlete, very mobile, able to run the ball.
And Janasek played a lot of receiver in the first half, and so listed as the backup quarterback here, making his presence here in the second half.
Ball at the 42, 2nd down and 4. This time he's going to throw the ball, and he gets his receiver. It'll be good for a first down, pickup of about 5 on that play.
Roy Trevino there with an outstanding job covering.
Grayson Sandlin.
Yeah, look at number 11 there as we see the screen. A pretty good sizer. I would say at least 6'2" there. So that's a nice little target here. Not the biggest guy, but has good size there.
1st and 10. Ball at the 48-yard line. And at this time, another running play, but not going to get much at all.
Great job there by the defensive line. Fighting off the blocks there and make the tackle there. We see the replay here. It looked like number 79, number 54 in the area. That's Samuel Perez. And number 54 is Aaron Garcia, who will be back next year.
All right. So we are going to have 2nd down and 9. And the running back is Hunter Henry. He is committed to Rice. All right. Now the quarterback, Janasek, has the ball, and he'll pick up 3 or 4 yards. And good lateral pursuit that time. Finally knocks him out of bounds. Gain of 3 on the play. And Jaden Kanab, Peyton's brother, makes the tackle. I know he's had an interception or 2 this year.
Right. Yeah, nice job there fighting off his block there at the wide receiver position there. And it's great to see that the Panther defense is still playing at full force here, not giving up here.
3rd down and 5. Pass is incomplete. And at that time, it was intended for Sandlin. And back on defense was Gabriel Gonzalez.
And with that incompletion, that's 4th down here. So the Cavaliers are going to punt.
Is that their first punt coming up?
I believe so.
Yeah. Hayes McCannon, he does some field goal and extra point kicking. He is going to be the punter. So 7:16 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And I believe this is the first punt for Lake Travis. Gets it off at his own 40. And it's going to be Jaden Cavazos. And he is going to be brought down very quickly. And ankle tackle by Caleb Halfman. So a 37-yard punt and a 6-yard return.
Yeah, Jaden Cavazos has done an outstanding job as a receiver, but has also done it as a return man on special teams there. Had to backpedal about 5 or 6 steps there, got the catch, and got a few more yards there to give Weslaco its 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter.
All right. And now we see that young man we were talking about, the quarterback of the future. The future is now for Rodney Garza. And it's going to be a running play, pickup of about 3, and it was Garza on the keeper. So he comes in and calls his own number right away. I don't know if he actually called his own number, but the play was meant for him. And he'll pick up 3 on the play, And that's his debut at the varsity level, right?
Yeah, he didn't play all year long, did not take one single snap, at least not that I know of.
I don't remember.
And we follow the Panthers all year long.
Yeah, I've been to every game.
Yeah, so what better place to start than a regional semifinal?
Oh, that's great. All right, another run, and this time Garza may lose a little bit. But still, it's good to see him out there. And so, we'll call it no gain. 3rd down and 7. Clock is running quick. A lot of running plays. We're already midway through the 3rd quarter. No score in this quarter, but that doesn't erase the first half. 49-0, Lake Travis. Again, we're going to see a lot of reserves in.
And who knows, Scott, this could be something that will pay off when Ronnie Garza does take over as senior. Coach Salinas is going to remember this game.
Right.
And so let's see if Rodney could put together some drives.
Jaden Cavazos in motion. Garza throws the ball, and the catch is complete right by the first down marker. Needed 7, looks like he got it, and it's Diego Martinez. So mark that in your book. I know you're really good at keeping stats, an old newspaper writer. He got his first pass to Diego Martinez with about 5:40 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of the regional semifinal.
Not many athletes can say my first ever completion at the varsity level came on a 3rd round playoff game in the Alamo Dome, San Antonio.
Love it. All right, another running play. Jeremy Coronados has it, and he is going to pick up about 6. And I'm not sure, because I don't follow Lake Travis all the time, or what kind of reserves they have in on defense.
Right.
But it doesn't really matter. You still got to be motivated and play.
And you know what I like, Scott, is that it looks to me like Rodney looks comfortable back there running the offense.
Thank you.
I mean, when you consider the circumstance there, I mean, just watching him these first few plays.
8 yards on that last play, 2nd down and 2. And Jeremy Coronado on 2nd effort spins his way to a 1st down. Looked like he was going to be stopped maybe a yard short. Look at the play, and he just watching on the big screen. Now we have it on our instant replay.
Right there.
Yeah, spins around and finally is knocked down and tackled. Raleigh Irwin, sophomore defensive end, so maybe they do have some of their younger players, and I saw that he was just a sophomore.
And this is the second 1st down of the drive, so nice little rhythm here.
All right, and this time, wide open receiver, and this is going to go all the way. Devin Denna, he is going to go all the way for the touchdown ball. It was at the 41-yard line, and so that is going to be a 59-yard touchdown reception. And finally, Weslaco gets on the scoreboard with 4:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. I'm telling you.
First completion, you'll never forget. How about the 2nd completion that he ever made? 59-yard touchdown pass to a senior. Devin Denna puts Weslaco on the board.
Good call, Mike. Remember, that's 59. All right, let's see if George Martinez continues his good year. And who knows, that couldn't be the final point he ever gets. Let's hope Weslaco scores more, but he's a senior. This was his only year coming off the soccer field.
Yeah, and I mean, just if we see a replay here, I'm not sure, but Rodney Garza there, just a fake pump there, and then just let it loose. And Devin Denna had about 3 steps on his defender, wide open, and made the catch. And it was an easy touchdown for him. So a great job there and a great start to the 2nd half for the Weslaco Panthers.
And I know they're rivals, but remember last year at this very venue in the regional semifinal, Weslaco East, they outscored Cibolo Steel in the 2nd half.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, like Coach Boswell would tell me over and over again, you just treat the game like it's 0-0. So right now, Weslaco is winning the 2nd half. And it's just about taking momentum into the offseason here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got to remember, this is the first time that the Panthers have played in the 3rd round since 2007. And this is the first time in quite some time that they've played here in the Alamo Dome. I know they had a game here in 2006 in the 2nd round of the playoffs. Not sure if they've come back and played here. I can't recall, but just this experience for the seniors and just for the underclassmen, you know, you want it to pay off, and you just want to take any positive thing you can to the offseason.
There's Martinez. I wonder if he's going to play soccer at the next level or even kick. All right, ball goes in the end zone for a touchback. Now let's see what happens on defense. So what I'm going to say, as far as 2nd half scoring, it's Weslaco leading Lake Travis 7-0. You like how I spin that?
Absolutely, no question about that. That's what you want to do. Is you just want to win the third quarter, you want to win the possession, you want to win the quarter, and then you want to win the half. And I'm sure that's what the coaches are saying right now.
Right. And of course, we even changed things around. We're sitting down here in the second half. We stood in the first half. That didn't do so well, and we're even a little superstitious, right? We're going to sit down, and I think we need to be seated as long as they're ahead.
Sure. Maybe that'll change some luck here.
Right. Okay. There is a pass. It's going to be good, and it is going to go for near first down yardage.
And we had a different quarterback there, the sophomore named Nate.
All right.
Yarnell there.
All right.
A big, tall young man here. We see a replay, just a play action. Rolls to his right there and found his man there. That would be number 18.
Lake McRee.
Okay.
McRee, I should say McRee. And I believe he was knocked out of bounds.
It's like a gain of 9 yards.
Yeah. Raul Camarena. And this time, running play doesn't do anything. And stopped in his tracks on that play was Wesley Irwin.
And Seth Sanchez there making unbelievable stop there. Played until the whistle was blown. Wasn't knocked down there, but whistle blew. And now we have a third, lost about 2 yards, so we have about a 3rd down and 3. Another opportunity for the Panther defense to make a stop here.
And we'll talk about Yarnell. I want to say something interesting after this next play. Yarnell, I believe that's his first pass of the year, at least completed pass. I think pass altogether. And that is going to be good for a first down. Ball was at the 32-yard line, 3rd and 3.
That was the young man that made the stop. Here's a replay there. A nice throw out there to the flat. And that's Raul Camarena there, who scored on that fake punt last week and making a play there. And
Cortland Deniso, I believe it is. Yeah, Deniso on the reception of about 10 yards. Now a long bomb downfield. Receiver is open, and he is dragged down at the 10-yard line. And that was a nice play. Dragging him down was Jaden Kanab. And I believe the receiver, we'll double check. I want to double check this again.
It was number 19.
All right. It was Salvador Alanis, 45-yard reception.
It just got by his man. A great throw there by the young sophomore there. I mean, it sets up a first down. It looks like at about the 12-yard line, so they could still get a first down at the 2.
Now this young man, and again, I'm going to try to find time to give an interesting stat if I have a chance. Maybe we'll do it after this drive. All right. Runs out of the pocket. He's going to carry the ball. Gets a couple yards, and he saw Roy Trevino and says, I think I'll step out of bounds. I heard about your rep.
Yeah, did the right thing and just stepped out of bounds. Don't need to force anything. Roy Trevino was ready to deliver a throw, but just looking at the young man there, as we have a good shot of him right there. Doesn't look like he's all that big, but he stands, I would say, what would you say, Scott, about 6'3", 6'4" there. Least. So it has a pretty good height, but only a sophomore.
Second down and 6 ball at the 8-yard line. A flag on the play. It's going to be out at about the 1, I believe, if it counts. Once again, Lake McRee. And it is going to be, I believe, offsides defense. And he got in, all right. So it was an 8-yard touchdown. I wasn't sure if he got in, but McRee got in. So that young man gets a touchdown on his first, probably, offensive series as a varsity player. Nate Yarnell. Now I want to say, as we get ready for the extra point attempt, and we'll see who the holder is actually Grayson Sandlin. Extra point attempt coming up. And it is good. What was interesting coming into that drive, the young man that got the touchdown, according to the statistics I have, he actually had a touchdown pass this year, throwing one, probably some kind of gadget play. So McRee, up to that point, had more touchdowns on the season than the guy that was playing quarterback.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. 1 for 1 for 22 yards. And also Garrett Wilson, believe it or not, that fantastic receiver, he also has completed 1 of 2 passes this year for 11 yards. He has thrown an 11-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So Wilson can do it all.
I mean, Wilson is a 5-star athlete. And, I mean, so he can really do it all. And, I mean, just based on what we saw in the first half, I mean, he's football smart, too. So, I mean, he knows the game very, very well. And just being able to utilize these talented players is just awesome to have. Like, if you're Lake Travis, and, I mean, as we see here, the depth of the squad here, bringing in backups and making a contribution to this game.
All right. So now, as far as the second half, the score is tied at 7-all. But again, if have to look at the whole big picture like we have to. It is 56-7, Lake Travis over Weslaco. So ball is caught near the 20-yard line, brought out to the 30-yard line. Diego Martinez returns the kick. 10-yard return.
10-yard return. Diego got it at about the 20-yard line, carried it on the left side there, found a little bit of room there, but then made a nice, Lake Travis with a nice tackle there because of Diego, who's also very dangerous, would have gone past that.
Yeah.
He might have had an opportunity to get another 50, 60 yards.
Right.
And that's another young man, Scott, who missed about 3 games due to an injury and came back, came on strong.
You mean Martinez?
Yeah, Diego Martinez.
And again, I'm estimating he's got about 6 or 7 catches this year for about 100 yards, 1 or 2 touchdown receptions. Plays tight end. Jeremy Coronado keeps it for a couple yards.
Going behind the right side there of the offensive line. Got a healthy 3 or 4 yards there.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 33-yard line.
And we see Devin Hanks is back at quarterback.
Yeah. So we'll see what he can do here. He's thrown 1 touchdown pass this season. This time, pump fakes. Tries to get to his receiver, Jaden Cavazos.
So we see a late flag there thrown by the official, a little bit of extracurricular activity. Devin Hanks was looking for Jaden Cavazos there. That time there was safety help.
Yeah, there was Max Voigt back there, a defensive back, and also Jacob Hopkins, a linebacker, defensive back. Dead ball foul, personal foul. It is going to be against Lake Travis.
So that's a free 1st down there for the Panthers. Should move the ball close to midfield. They're going to spot it at about the 48-yard line.
So again, Panthers trying to keep things going. I said Diego's a tight end. He's more of a wide receiver, isn't he?
Maybe on the roster he's listed as tight end, but yes, his contribution has been more as a receiver and a blocker.
All right. Pass this time is good. Intended for Diego Martinez.
Diego Martinez making his presence known here in the 3rd quarter. Ran a nice route there, saw where the yardsticks were at.
So just a little short.
Sure, and Devin Hanks delivered a great pass to him for a 1st down.
9 yards, 2nd down and 1.
Oh, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, I thought so too, it was a 1st down. But Jeremy Coronado is going to make us forget all that.
Sure.
Because he gets about 4 or 5 yards for the 1st down.
This time goes on the left side there. Found a little hole there and got enough for the 1st down. So after the penalty, Hanks delivers a nice 9-yard pass, and Coronado with a nice little run there. So this was the last play of the 3rd quarter now, so 1 more quarter left.
That's right. And again, Coronado, these are not official stats because, again, we've had a little trouble getting them. One of the games was missed, but at one point in this season, late in the season, I saw Coronado had 41 rushes for 278 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yes, and I mean, last year had a big game as a junior. I believe it was against Harlingen, so we saw a glimpse of his potential, and after his injury, we saw him just maximizing it and just add another dimension, another weapon, many weapons that this unit has. It was great that he came back, overcame that injury, and has helped this ball club here in the playoffs.
And looking at Devin Hanks, again, this is one of the later games of the year. At that point, he had 9 rushes for 43 yards and a touchdown. So he's got some mobility too.
He's got a little bit of mobility. He can run with the ball. And I mean, one of the great things about the hire of Coach Salinas is I knew about him and I knew about the program there at Edinburgh Vela.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know after I did some research and talking to some media people from the Upper Valley is that, yes, Coach Salinas does like to run the football. And to me, running the football is still an important part of your offense. I think you need some kind of a running game, and being that they do that, even though it's off the spread, I think is great.
All right, so we begin the 4th quarter play. Lake Travis, 56-7, I should say, the lead. And Jeremy Coronado this time is dropped in the backfield, kind of gang tackled there among them. Charlie Cross, he's a junior linebacker. He kind of crossed him up, right?
Yeah, Lake Travis there just did a great job reading the play there, brought in extra men in the box there and stopped Coronado for a 1-yard loss.
Second down 11, ball at the 38-yard line in Lake Travis territory. Both teams have scored a touchdown here in the second half, in the third quarter. All right, Hanks delays it, throws it up, and no good near the 10-yard line. Devin Denna, the intended receiver, among those back there, Max Foyt.
And you just got to give credit to the Max Foyt there. Just a terrific job turning around, doing what the coaches teach you. It was a great throw by Hanks, but just at the very last second was able to bat it down. Devin Denna jumping up high for it, couldn't come down. To a great effort, though.
And he probably would have been out of bounds.
Might have been out of bounds, yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3rd and 11. Clock stopped, 11:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And again, Hanks will throw downfield, overthrows his intended receiver, Denna. And again, Jacob Hopkins back on defense.
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunication there between Devin Hanks and Devin Denna, because Devin Hanks let it go, and Devin Denna was still running his route, and by the time he looked up, the ball was already incomplete.
So it's going to be 4th and 11. Going to go for it. Coronado in the backfield. He'll be to the left of Hanks. 3 wideouts right side. And upfield the ball is thrown. And the intended receiver, Diego Martinez, cannot get it.
Devin Hanks had plenty of time there. The offensive line doing a great job protecting him. Had Diego open up the middle, but just overthrew him.
And let's talk about this offensive line. Again, they've had a great season.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Cody Rodriguez there all season long, coming through, the captain anchoring that offensive line there, and probably I would say underrated. I mean, it's a unit that maybe not a lot of people talk about, but have really stepped up. And I mean, they had to overcome injuries. I know they lost their center some time back, and yeah, I mean, they've done an excellent job there.
All right, a running play, and it is going to be good for almost 10 yards. Hunter Henry, the young man that's going to Rice with the carry. One young man I had a chance to talk to before one of the games, and he was out for a while. Francisco Alarcon. I want to make sure I say his name right.
Oh, that would be number 63.
Yeah, I'm saying
right.
Yeah.
Alarcon, yeah. Francisco Alarcon.
I talked to him for a while. Very nice young man, and he was telling me a little bit about the line, how they had to move guys around because of his injury. And again, I want to say a shout out to him. Really enjoyed that time I had to talk with him.
And the thing about it, Scott, is when you lose an important piece of the offensive line, that's what happens a lot, is they have to move players around, and sometimes it is challenging. It takes about, I don't know, what would you say, about a month for them to really gel and develop that chemistry needed.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd and 9, ball on the 49-yard line. Little dump-off pass. Pick up about 4 or 5.
A great open field tackle there by Roy Trevino there. Reading the play there. See him there on the replay there, just going for his knee area, his ankles area, and just making sure he wraps them right there. Great job there. Roy Trevino, who's had an excellent senior year, was out for some time also, but man, when he came back, he really uplifted the unit there.
Salvador Alanis on the catch. 3rd and 4. Ball now in Weslaco territory at the 46-yard line. 9.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. And once again, Seth Sanchez puts pressure on the quarterback, almost gets him, but the quarterback is going to get away, and he is going to wind up going down to about the 20-yard line. And he picks up a lot of yardage on that play, about 25 yards. Good rush by Peyton Janacek.
And Roy Trevino had the touchdown saving tackle there. As we see Seth Sanchez there. I thought was going to sack him there, and probably should have sacked him there.
Right.
And instead, a big play there for Lake Travis, and we have an injury. It looks like Marco Noriega, who's had a little rough senior year as far as health-wise, and we thought he was gone for good late in the season, and as it turned out, came back last week and made a contribution there. And you know, if this is his last play as a Weslaco Panther football, you know, thank you, Marco, for a great senior year and a junior year, and helping uplift this unit who last year gave up a lot of big plays. And man, they came back and just turned it around, and it kind of starts with him, and it's good to see that he's able to walk it off a little bit. It's going to need some help, but
Well,
I mean, he showed what kind of warrior he was to come back twice from an injury.
Even after he got injured for a couple weeks, he was still the leading tackler on the team with 30.
Wow.
Even after he was injured for a couple weeks. So, again, I've really enjoyed watching him. I mean, you've said it all. All right, Janček tries to pass it in, and it is incomplete. You see the intended receiver, Salvador Alanis.
Cesar Sanchez came with some pressure there, and I think maybe the quarterback maybe threw it just a tad bit earlier than he wanted to, and so the timing was a little off.
So it's going to be second down and 10, ball on the 11, 8:56 remaining. Yes, they can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Appreciate all the Weslaco fans that came up. I saw a couple Weslaco ISD vans at one of the gas stations I stopped at, full of Weslaco students. And Janček throws it, and it's tipped in the end zone, and almost from one receiver to another, it's tipped in the air by Jeremiah Patterson, and is almost caught, I believe, by Cortland Nenesio.
And then we're going to see Raul Camarena there come with some pressure there, and a great job there by the quarterback getting away from it, going to his outside, and almost made a spectacular play there, but it was incomplete.
So it's going to be third down and 10, ball still at the 11. 3 wideouts on the right side, 1 back in the backfield. Again, running the spread offense. And the ball is thrown, and this time it's incomplete. Trevino is the defender. Denisio is the intended receiver. So it's going to be 4th down 11, or Denisio, I guess is how they pronounce it here, Denisio.
Yeah, little off the mark there. Pretty good coverage there, but yeah, we have, 4th and 10, and I don't see the field goal unit out there.
No. I guess when you have this type of lead, you want to give this quarterback some experience. And receivers are stacked on each side, one behind the other. And Janček has it. And it's tipped and incomplete. Trevino tips it. Also back on defense was Jaden Kanab.
Defense has come through all year long with some stands and with some turnovers here. Coming up here with a big-time stop. Cesar Sanchez again with another pressure.
I mean, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Remember that saying, he's everywhere, he's everywhere.
Yeah, almost came through with another interception. The whole unit entered tonight with about, 14, 15 interceptions. Just have done an outstanding job there.
Oh, yeah, they've done a good job on that. I mean, they've gotten back and hustled after the football all year long. Okay, so it's going to be 1st and 10. Weslaco at their own 11-yard line. And first running play, I believe the quarterback keeper again. As we see coming back into the ball game, getting his second stint is Rodney Garza.
Made things look easy the last time he was there, so now with his second opportunity.
Okay, I'm going to list some guys, and you tell me if I missed any. Here are some of the people that have interceptions. I don't know if I have all the right numbers, but Axel Camarena has about 5 or 6. And we'll complete this little story after this play. Garza keeps it again and gets rushed out of bounds. All right, Axel Camarena has many interceptions. Jaden Kanab has 2. Roy Trevino, I think, may have 3. And I'm not sure if Raul Camarena has any. And those are the ones that I can think off the top of my head.
I think Jathan Cavazos, Jaden Kanab, I believe, has a couple.
Yeah, he has a couple. I mentioned him.
Yeah, okay. Jaden Kanab has a couple.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Marco Noriega has an interception or not, but yes, I mean, the great thing about it, Scott, is that, yes, it's been the DBs, but the linebackers have also contributed to some of those interceptions there.
3rd down and 6. Great move to get away from the defense. And, Dena, very uncharacteristic of him, drops the ball. Maybe he heard the footsteps of the defender.
Yeah, there. He would have been about a yard shy, but if he would have made a move after the catch, would have had a shot there to get a first down. You see Rodney Garza escaping pressure there, and just maybe it was a little behind Devin Dena, but it was still a catchable ball.
So 4th down and 6, ball at the 15-yard line. And now Garza doing what Jacob Cavazos did. So if he takes over in a couple years, it'll be the same thing. Quarterback punting.
The rugby style is what Coach Salinas likes to have his punter do.
All right. Ball is up. Rolls down. to around the 30-yard line. That's where it's going to be down. And we don't want to run out of time here, but we do want to mention some of the crew. Obviously, our boss, Carlos Robledo, does a great job putting all this together, especially the road trips.
Yeah, it all starts with Carlos Robledo, the K-West director.
Yeah. And, of course, Mike, we appreciate all you do during the week, getting things together, interviews. You work behind the scenes, and obviously we see you on camera. And then we've got Darlene Gracia, graphic artist, all these neat stats and things that are put up there. She's responsible for all that.
She's what we call the first lady of K-West.
Very good. Well, she deserves that title. All right, we've got a pass, and it's going to be complete. And it is going to go for just about a yard or two. Not much on that play. Lake McRee, who just had the touchdown, has it. And Trevino, by the way, on the tackle. We're kind of doing two things at once. Got to do the game and also try to recognize the staff, since this is apparently the final game, football game in the Valley. All right. It's going to be 2nd down and 7, gain of 3 on that reception. And again, another passing play, this time going to be incomplete. And Yarnell back at quarterback, I believe. All right, what about Joe Leal? He always is a good audio man. I remember one time I needed him to help me. There was a Wesco East game going on. Even though he's running all the audio and doing all the control stuff, he still was like whispering in my ear the Wesco East score. So I appreciated that. 3rd down and 7 coming up, ball at the 32-yard line. And you see the quarterback, it actually is Yarnell, the young man getting his 2nd stint tonight at quarterback. 5:07 remaining. We have trips on the left. And the quarterback is brought down. And I'll tell you what, a great move that time, all right? The defender got in there very quickly.
Elijah Esteban is lined up as a defensive end. They're only a junior, so he'll be back next year, and he'll be a big piece of that D lineman, because a lot's going to be lost on defense. So guys like Elijah are going to need to step up next year.
4th down and 10 coming up. And again, all these great shots that you see on the video, all the great camera work.
And scoreboard.
And scoreboard, right. We'll talk about some of the people doing that right after the kick. Again, the punt is going to come off from about the 20-yard line. So another chance for more points for Weslaco. Ball goes back and is taken about the 40-yard line. Not much running room there. Jaden Cavazos. And our videographer is just great. Don Ramirez, Val Zamora, right next to us. See Vinny Barry, our expert on professional wrestling, too. And we always enjoy that. And, of course, a lot of people back at the office. And one I deal with is Miss Garcia, Mina Garcia, gets our stats together. But anybody else back at the office that I don't normally see you want to recognize? Is there anybody else at the office that doesn't come out with us?
We got to recognize Alma Franklin. Does some technical stuff back in the office, but collectively, Scott, bar none, it's a great staff that we have.
That's right.
If people only understand behind the scenes what takes place before, during, and after the games, that a lot of people don't understand here. It's a total team effort here. I mean, obviously, Carlos and I stand in front of the camera for a pregame show, and then our postgame show, and then guys like you, Coach Rakovich, who also made a contribution. Roy Rakovich, we got to recognize. We got to recognize Joe Aguilar, who was also a play-by-play man, also helped us out here. But it's what happens behind the scenes that make us go.
All right, the last 2 plays, Coronado on a screenplay didn't get any yardage, and then on the next play, it was Rodney Garza rushing for no yardage. And if we don't mention this last guy, all right, we're gonna get our microphones turned off, and we may get booted out of here, okay? And this is the guy that runs the whole show, actually, technically our director and everything, and that, of course, is Mike Palacios. And what do you got to say about Mike?
Oh, Mike was an addition. As chief photographer, we see there Devin Dano pick up a 1st down. Mike came in last spring and took over a well-respected chief photographer, Julian Olivares, who moved on. And Mike actually worked at K-West TV for a lot of years before he decided to pursue a different career. Had a change of heart because, I mean, he just loves our crew and he loves this field. And we opened him with open arms. He's really helped us out here. We have not missed a beat. We were already a great crew But bringing Mike in, I mean, we have not lost a beat, and you know, everybody's seen the replay here.
And you can see Martinez getting that reception. That was a great pass from Garza.
Yeah, and I think that's a sideline shot from Don Ramirez. So just the communication that takes place during the game is bar none among the best by our crew.
And Garza, another pass, and that is to Jaden Cavazos, and that's about for 10 yards. That might be his first reception of the game. We haven't called his number very much.
No, we haven't. I think I have him down for a 9-yard gain.
All right, do you have? Okay.
Yeah, so only his second catch there, but great job, Ronnie Garza, finding Jaden Cavazos there.
Yeah.
Got a first down.
And the best thing I like?
What is that,
about Mr. Palacios? He always lies and tells me I do a good job. So he's a good liar too. All right. I mean, so that much we can say about him.
Well, you know what, Scott? This is the second year that you help us out. So I mean, that does say a little bit about yourself as well. I mean,
they can't find anybody else that'll do this every week. Right? All right. So it is going to be. No, we love doing this. I joke around a lot, but it's because it's a great crew to work with and they're a lot of fun. Even in a game like this, try to make the best. And I'll tell you what, I'm a half full guy versus a half empty guy. The glass is half full. And obviously this is not how we want to see the season come to an end for Weslaco. But I'm just so impressed. And he had an incomplete pass, but to see Rodney Garza come out there, and do well,
a spark to this offense where there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, and then Ronnie comes in the third quarter, was put in a situation where he has no varsity experience, and has led the unit for the only touchdown for the team.
That's right. So isn't it 7-7 here in the second half? Is that what it is?
Yes.
All right, let's see if Weslaco can score more points. Again, the ball was at the 25, and it's going to go to Diego Martinez, who's had a big game. And the ball's on the 9, so that's a gain of about 16. It's going to be first and goal to go at the 9 with 1:12. So just like last year when Weslaco East scored more points in the second half in this building against Cibolo Steel, let's see if Weslaco can do that also. Come on, Mr. Garza. And he is going to get down to the 5-yard line, so it's going to be goal to go from the 5.
Yeah, big number 45 there on the stop. That's Derek Johnson, who's listed as a freshman defensive back. Big boy there. And then Ronnie Garza took the punishment there, just looking for the open man. Nobody was open, decides to take it, and it gets punished there, but it gets big yardage.
And now Garza throws it up, and it's tipped away at the last second. Denna was open, but then all of a sudden tipping it away is Caleb Halfman.
Yeah, a little, I don't know if we'll see a replay here, but there we go. Nice little, okay, it looked to me like Devin Garza kind of stopped for whatever reason, his route there. If he would have kept going, he might have had a chance to catch it.
There's Garza. 35 seconds remaining. Third down. Goal to go from the 5. If it gets to fourth down, do you just bring Martinez in to kick the field goal to say you had more points in the second half than Lake Travis? I don't know. All right, Garza has it on third down. Yeah, his receiver is open, and he scores. He scores from 5 yards out, and that is a touchdown. That is a great touchdown, and it's Dante Castillo. And Castillo had a touchdown earlier this year, and ironically, that was the only touchdown that Hanks had. His only touchdown passing came as a hookup to Castillo, and that's Castillo's second touchdown of the season.
Yeah, nice throw there. Jeremy Coronado with a key block. Let's give credit to the offensive line for protecting Garza, and great job there by the unit with a terrific drive. And if this happens to be the last drive of the season, I mean, what a way to go. What a way to take something into the offseason.
Now, the score with 28 seconds left as far as the second half is Weslaco 14, Lake Travis 7. But being a journalist, I have to be fair. Overall, Lake Travis is winning 56-14. But once again, in the second half, just like Weslaco East outscored Cibolo Steel last year, it's Weslaco in the second half outscoring Lake Travis.
And this might not be over yet. Let's see if the Panthers line up for an onside kick.
Very good. Yeah. And by the way, and again, I don't like to talk about moral victories or whatever, but I am just about sure that Coach Carter on Lake Travis is going to remind his team next week that you got outscored in the second half.
Oh, just like you want to take something positive into the offseason if you're Weslaco, and the other hand, you're Lake Travis, and you want to take something into next week and say, guys, we did not do well here, we did not do well there, we need to do a better job. And next week, Lake Travis is going to take on Converse Judson, who is a well-established power here in the state of Texas. and that's going to be a great matchup next week. But yeah, I'm sure Coach Carter is going to take that into the dressing room and into practice next week.
And I've got something to tell you, my friend, here before this ends. But let's see if we can. Oh, they're going to kick it off. All right, that's fine. All right. I know your Dallas Cowboys beat my New Orleans Saints, and I give you all the credit in the world. Their defense is coming through. They're getting players back at the right time. Defense wins championships. You know, I give you all the credit in the world, all right? And they beat the Saints fair and square. But let me say just one thing to remember, all right? I believe if you're going to win the Super Bowl, it's going to, and I'm talking about going through these cities, not just playing these teams. If you're going to win the Super Bowl, you're probably going to have to go through New Orleans, Los Angeles, and maybe play Kansas City in the big game. So well, good luck, my friend.
Well, yeah, I know. Obviously,
no, we love the Cowboys. I mean,
yes,
yeah, we're having fun. I am a Saints fan, but I have huge respect for the Cowboys.
It was a big win for the Cowboys. Yeah. I can't recall the last time they had a win like that. And you know, the team was 3-5, and now are rolling with about what, a 5-game winning streak or 4-game winning streak there. And so they're peaking at the right time.
And by the way, for Lake Travis, they have won 6 games in a row now.
Right, and speaking of peaking, I mean, the Panthers started the year with expectations of hopefully making the playoffs, and man, they just got off to a great start, took it into district play, and gave Edinburgh Vela a run for their money. And
their only loss of the year besides
this. Only loss in the year, and did not lose that momentum. Had themselves a terrific year, finished 9-1, second in District 32-6A, then represented 32-6A with playoff wins over Harlingen and By District, and Laredo United in the area round, and came here today and played the regional semifinal game for the first time in 11 years. So with Coach Salina, Michael Salinas and his staff only in his second year, a big turnaround from last year's squad that went 3-6. So if you're a Weslaco Panther fan, you got to feel really good going into the offseason.
And I believe Coach Salinas unofficially is 14-8 now as coach at Weslaco. And Mike, of course, I always enjoy working with you because regardless of your taste in football teams, you are a Chicago Cubs fan. So that puts you over the top.
Absolutely. Fly the W, baby.
Yeah, that's right. So, again, we want to thank this great K-West crew. We mentioned them individually and collectively. They've done a great job. We appreciate all they do to help us and to give you a great broadcast. Mike, before we shut down, any final words?
Oh, just congratulations to the Weslaco Panthers again, and a big thank you to the 27 seniors who are going to move on in life. I think they left a big mark for the underclassmen that, hey, you got something to build now, and don't lose that momentum. And so I expect the Weslaco Panthers for years to come to perhaps be in this position in this game, and hopefully one of these years we can break through that third round wall.
All right. Well, I enjoyed this, and maybe I can talk someone to let me do this again next year. I don't know. We'll see how desperate we are for a broadcaster, okay? So anyhow, final score once again. It is 56-14 Lake Travis. They win over Weslaco. This was regional semifinal action. Weslaco winds up the season 11-2, and now we see that Lake Travis is going to move on in the playoffs there, 12-1. One final time. Who are they playing next?
Next week against Converse Judson. Time and place will be determined.
All right, and of course, Mission Veterans is coming up next here, right? And we wish them good luck, right?
We wish the Mission Veterans good luck. You know, they're the last 6A team to carry the Valley banner, and let's see what happens.
Okay. So again, from the Alamo Dome, we're going to call it a night. We hope you have a great and safe weekend. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Scott Harrison. This has been a K-West production.